Got a glare in the screen. All right. Get my laptop on here. Mike, you keep this on. There's 4 minutes over there. What's up, fellas? Anybody here? Working late. The first batch is being released to our previous DPG clients, and I'm just basically jumping on live here as I'm working, running the machines and basically answering any Q&A. So let me log on to YouTube here. Let me know if the sound's all right. I'm on my phone, so kind of an improv chat. Get on the tubes here. Oh, you put it in? Yeah. So we got a lot of projects working. We got Genes1s Actions rolling, getting made right now. We got a 383 stroker motor being put on the good old Chevy. So I got my oldest son over there working. He's ripping the motor out of the truck, and this bad boy's up and running. What's up, Willie Gittins? Hey, appreciate it, brother. Yeah, we had our Genes1s Actions rolling out. I'm obviously working, but I'm just basically just going live as an improv too, just to kind of answer Q&A and sort of a lot of questions and people asking me things. So as I'm working here, I'm basically going to be answering anything I could think of as far as you guys' questions. If the sound isn't good, let me know. I'll swap over to a different microphone. So let me make sure I'm live here. All right. Yep. All right. Got you guys on the tube. Get the sound done. Sounds good. All right. So obviously I work late, guys. I mean, I'm in this shop 20 plus hours a day. Trying to fulfill orders. We have CZs going in. I got to sort through all those actions. These are the Genes1s Actions, obviously. It's our first product. Really excited about this. Everything is made under this, under the same roof. We are not outsourcing anything. All of our products are made here. Firing pins, all of this stuff. I just took out one of the Genes1s Actions out to the NRL 22X match here in Kingman. I got 6th place, a little bit rusty. 6th place out of 46 people. 30-mile-per-hour winds. Shot with Greg Roman. Really good to catch up with Greg. Greg's just an awesome person. He is another batch of actions. These are going to be sent out. Well, the last thing I got to do is cut the dovetail, but these are getting sent out to nitride coating. We got a whole slew of slugs. I'm going to call these things slugs. These are what I send out to get wire EDM. So this is how the action all starts here. It's a piece of metal bar, threaded. They get indicated, wire EDM'd. I don't know if you guys can see the wire EDM in there. But these are a true precision action. So made out of the highest quality stainless steel out there. But as I'm working tonight, you guys can see what I'm doing. Let me get this action rolling here, and I'll start answering some questions. So if you guys are wondering, this machine is called a turn mill CNC. It's got live tool. Tools. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 8 live tool holders. 3 of them are 90-degree horizontals. 3 of them or 4 of them are vertical. And I got a dual lap tool here. These are pretty pricey. They're not the best, honestly. Pulling out the actions is definitely getting the work done. You can see the machine here. Very minimal tooling marks. I think this is kind of cool, being able to show you guys is getting done. Trigger just got cut out, and we are going to start cutting out the ejection port. So I have this whole machine process all set up to where I'm doing right-handed actions. First operation is doing the back half of this, so it's sitting on the like this. I can figure it for the hand, the left port, or vice versa. Go left port, right hand, right port, left hand. So I got those options coming out. Buffers are 3D printed out of very hard TPU. So what we're going to be doing after the next operation, obviously, is cutting the mag wells and stuff. But yeah, these right here, the reason why I went with these guys, like people are telling me, hey, how come you didn't go with aluminum? These hold up a hell of a lot better. Out of a
the live super grainy, your speech and cut them out.
Oh, slightly choppy. Okay. All right. That should be better. I'm on a different Wi-Fi. Sorry, guys. Let me know if the picture's coming in better. There we go. Yep, picture should be a lot better. So as I'm working, talking about the mag buffers, they are 3D printed, but they're made out of hard rubber TPU, and this holds up a hell of a lot better than aluminum. Two things and the reasons why I went with these hard rubber is to, one, not gouge your cleaning rods. So this is the ejector that's built into it. Two, it gives the user ability to kind of, like, for at-home gunsmiths or at-home tinkerers, if they want to with the STL file, make these a little bit larger or whatever to fit their mags, you guys could, very easily replaceable and very affordable. We're going to be selling these things for like $8 on the website. I haven't broke one yet, guys. I mean, I'm able to really, I could bend the hell out of this thing. This thing won't break. So they hold up a lot better than aluminum. Once you gouge aluminum, that's it. Creates a burr and starts causing issues. These don't seem to do that, and they hold up to the heat out here. So something a little innovative. But let me set up this action to go on operation or op 2 here. So it's basically all done with one operation. What that means is that this screw on this action body to this adapter, it doesn't come off. All of the milling operations and stuff are all done without the removal of this. Every time you remove an action body and reinsert it or reinstall it, there's something called machine tolerances that start stacking up. So if you're able to create an action body, do it all in what is called one operation, then your tolerances from the back end to the front end are going to be a hell of a lot better than out there. Most actions, how they make them is they grab an action. They either have some kind of clamping system, like a dovetail. I mean, that's another reason why I have a dovetail to give me that opportunity. Is the action can be clamped on a vertical mill. They'll then have to turn it 90 degrees to do all the milling procedures here. Turn it another 90 degrees, do all the milling procedures. Every time you reset this part, you're going to stack tolerance. And that's how you start having tolerance stacking, tolerance issues, actions out of tolerance. But having it all done in one operation is honestly the best way. Yep, exactly, Greg. The mag buffers can be printed out. It takes like 30 minutes. So, we just got a whole new. Actually, let me give you guys a little shop tour. We got the new CNC machine just showed up. It's a style. This thing's pretty cool. It's doing recoil lugs. That's what I have on this machine. So doing recoil lugs. Whole new Siemens 828D Cinemeric controller. This is something kind of unique. I'm not really liking the user friendliness of this thing. Like if I wanted to touch off tools and stuff, but this is pretty cool. I mean, I guess it's just me getting used to it. But like for instance, let me do a tool change here. So I'm used to Fanuc controllers and Haas. This whole new Cinemerica is just kind of weird. Like if I want to call up a tool, instead of like tool 1, offset 1, I actually have to input the name. So it'll be like let's say 1.5. Oh, I gotta put brackets, so I gotta put quotations 1.5 face mill, and then it's M6 is the code, is the tool change. So I input that, hit cycle start, and you'll see it. Oh, I gotta put the drive ready. There you go. Cycle start, and then it will change the tool. So I mean, it's kind of cool, kind of different. What I don't like about it is that my tool names, as the program calls up the tool, I gotta change my my post code and make sure the names all match. Unlike like a Doosan, this is the difference. On a Doosan machine, you go to MDI. This is what's cool about a Doosan. I just type in T6, offset 6, and the block, input, start. Boom, there it is. All right, I mean, it's quick. Or I could go here. I could go to manual. I could go to right here. It tells me I want tool 10. Press this. Boom, there it is, tool 10. It's a hell of a lot quicker on a Fanuc controller. I honestly think these controllers are a hell of a lot better than Cinemerics. But I'm getting used to it. That's the new CNC machine. It's it's different, but I talk to a lot of people in this industry, and they're telling me the Cinemerica is pretty good. I'm not seeing that right now, and I'm waiting on Marpos to install the touch probe. So we got a whole new touch probe system right here coming in. Well, it's here, but they got to field install it. So that's going to be what is it? Let me show you what the touch probe looks like. It's kind of a cool little system. So again, if I got to change a tool, got to change the name, insert. Just got to hit the reset button. Let's see how much slower it is. Type in probe, cycle start. Just gonna take it out of the magazine. All right, and then there's the touch probe right there. So haven't installed that yet, but what's kind of cool, like I said, this machine's got a little magazine carrier. All the tools get held up in that magazine there, but I'm learning. Obviously, I made some parts already. So we'll go back to the 1.5 face mill. It's got air. It's got coolant. Oh, I mean, and it's got a 4th axis. So this is what's going to be the game changer here. I actually am very familiar with 4th axis CNC VMCs. So we got a piercing work holding tombstone that's going to sit on here, and that will basically allow me to really start pumping out like parts like this, like the small parts on the Action, like the recoil lugs, the adjustable lug, the rotating bolt assembly. That could all be done here. This is a 12,000 RPM spindle, so I could get some really good speeds and feeds and finishes on the metal, and then have it on the tombstone, being able to get up to about 16 parts. So I could load like 2 and 2 vertical this way and have all the milling procedures. It will rotate, and I'll have another 4 right here, so I can rotate this thing and get up to 4, 12, yeah, 16 parts done. So it's pretty unique. And then this is what I'm using to get all those mag buffers. So Bamboo Lab, PS1 or P1S, and this. So we're 3D printing the mag buffers for now. I think honestly is the best way. I've tested. I've machined out aluminum. I've machined out stainless steel. For some reason, the mag buffers in a very hard TPU just hold up a hell of a lot better. So kind of a quick little shop tour. It's where I'm at. Wire EDM machines at another facility. We're probably going to get one pretty soon. But let me look at any questions here. Can we print? Yeah. Slightly choppy. Yep. Copper Star Precision, what's up there? So, yeah, Copper Star Precision, he was there at the match. Ended up actually winning one of the giveaway rifles. And just ended up donating it to Cody. So we were giving out a 100% donation rifle NRL 22X match here in Kingman. Copper Star Precision, there's a side stage, ended up clearing the stage, I think, in 14 seconds or something crazy with a semi-auto 1022, and got first place, got the opportunity to get our Genes1s Action. Just said, I like to just give it away to the silent auction. So we're going to have a silent auction for that barreled action along with the first one that I built. And that's going to be 100% donated to Cody, Cody Bolster and his family. But yeah, really awesome to see him on here. Thanks for joining, brother. I didn't notice. I didn't see your name till now. So yeah, the dovetail, 11mm dovetail. There's a couple reasons for it. I've tested this. Scope rails that have 11mm dovetail, you have all of this surface area being clamped onto the action versus having, you know, like 4 screws. You know, let's say these would be like 1032 screws or something, or whatever screws that they use for scope rails. These screws are prone to coming loose during weather shift or temperature shift, or just you picking up the rifle by the scope. Those screws will come loose, and it's another maintenance item. If you guys forget to check those screws, almost guarantee you that's probably one of the reasons why you lost points in a match, or perhaps are losing accuracy of your rifle. Your scope base is probably loose. So what I found is that the 11mm dovetail actually clamps on a hell of a lot more rigid than having 4 screws. Yes, it can slide back and forth, but that still keeps your vertical shift, your point of impact, very minimal. And you're going to notice this thing moving, obviously, if it ever comes loose. But again, you have more clamping force. We also, if you notice, do have screw holes. So we're going to come up with our own scope base. So the 11mm dovetail will slide on. We'll also have screw holes for that. So we'll have dual clamping. We'll have 11mm dovetail clamping onto the action, and then the scope rail screws on there as well. We're currently using MDT's CZ457 scope rails, but the Area 419, obviously they work as well. They do sit a little higher on the action, so your bore access will be a little bit higher. But they do look really good with this action. I think we got the best looking action in the market for 22. So, yep, let me get this up and rolling. I got to reference the machine, let it know where it's at. Make sure that action is nice and tight on the adapter here. So what I do is I got my own little action wrench. Make sure the action is tight onto our little extension here. This lathe has a brake on it, which is pretty cool. You probably heard it engage. It's got a really high clamping force. We'll reference the turret here. Okay. Hand jog this bad boy and check to make sure it's leveled and within tolerance. All right. So just checking the level, making sure my machine is still holding tolerance. These are the little checks that I do as I'm machining. We'll see what the machine tells me. It should be around 0 or right when I'm done. And put 30 degrees for the slant blade lathe and 0.75 of a degree. And that's honestly the difference of the bubble level error. So yep, that is within tolerance. Load operation number 2 here. There we go. And it is ready to roll. So turn the coolant off. Show you guys what it's going to do. Synchronizing the spindles. All right. Clocks the action. It's going to do a sub-spindle grab. This is so I can mill out the receiver. You don't want to have all that material sticking out. It's going to turn. Brought in the 1/2 inch end mill. And then it's going to rock. So stop it right there, put the coolant on, and then let this thing just run. There you go. So now it's going to mill out the ejection port. Action as prefits, more than likely not. It's definitely prefittable. One of the benefits of our action is that the threads are all timed. I can control the thread timing within 1 degree, and that's very, very good. So that's going to allow you to build a barrel to inspect, or the extractor cuts will be within 1 degree. I mean, I definitely can do so, but what we're doing is we're actually vetting shops. So I got 2 shops right now that are going to be building these actions, or barrels for the action, and are going to install these things correctly. The problem with prefits is that we are now relying on Joe Schmo and their little, let's say, little Precision Matthews or Grizzly lathe in their garage to make a barrel for you guys. 22 is super, super critical to tolerance and headspace, tolerance on the chamber, the threads, anything that reduces the rigidity and tolerance of 1 thou, you're going to run into issues with accuracy and reliability. The reason why I don't do prefits is simply because I outperform them every single time, 100% of the time. And I got a challenge out there. We're able to put cash on it. There is no prefit out there that has beat one of our rifles. Our rifles is completely always 100% hammer. The difference of our rifles compared to our prefit is that it will shoot a .3 consistently, back to back to back, every single time. Occasionally flyers, but if you're to compare, let's say 50 shots of like a CZ prefit versus one of our barrels that are threaded on, our aggregate group is going to be significantly lower, almost half of what a prefit puts out. So we just have, our goal is to give you guys the best accuracy, right? We have precision in the name of our name, so we're not going to chase quantity. We're always going to chase quality, and that's how our name is going to be known for in this industry. So obviously we make our own barrels. I could put out prefits out there left and right and not worry about lead times and all that, but we outperform them every single time. At some point, this action does have a very unique capability, which I could kind of allude to in a little bit, but it will have ability to utilize a prefit barrel that's in the market right now. So it'll be a nice little adapter that you screw on to the front where the recoil lug is going to be, and it'll allow you to use a prefit barrel. So as of right now, we're just going to have gunsmiths that know what they're doing, that can produce the same kind of quality that we put out. That's going to ensure that you guys are going to get a quality action that runs really well and shoots very well. And then we're going to control that kind of market and make sure you guys see that for at least a year before we even consider prefits in the market. Okay, barrel length is still mainly a personal preference to weight and balance, or is there an accuracy advantage to a certain length? There actually is. So the difference on barrel lengths, now what's kind of weird is that we've seen a big full 100-degree circle, right? We went from, at one point, PRS shooters were talking about 16-inch barrels, right? Saying 16-inch barrels are the way to go for 22. And here, nowadays, we're seeing 6-inch barrels. We're going all the way back to where the 22 first started, where Lapua and Ely are both testing their ammo at 440 millimeters or 26-inch barrels. There's a reason for it. At 26-inch, the pressure's normalized. You get a better G1 RA4 BC value, and you get better overall performance. The downside to it is that there are ammunition out there that will start producing lower velocities and will give you more vertical stringing at longer distances. The 22 long rimfire or long rifle really wasn't ever thought of being a cartridge capable of accuracy at 300 yards, but it does. I mean, it's able to shoot at 300 yards. I'd say 250 and in is kind of where it shines, but 300 is capable, and we are able to produce some pretty good accuracy. To achieve that, we got to have higher BC values. That's why ammunition today, like Lapua Center X and Midas Plus, Ely with their little nipple tip that they put on there, is producing really high BC values, and they're seeing that performance. So at a longer barrel length, you will see higher BC values. I have verified that time and time again. I have an older 89 BC chronograph that has 2 silk screens, one at the target, one at the muzzle. So as I shoot it, it'll interpolate the muzzle velocity, and then at the 100-meter mark, it will interpolate that velocity and give you guys and spit out a BC value. So the longer barrels produce a higher BC value. Our barrels specifically are in the 2s, so 0.2 G1. So I say 0.205 to 210 G1. RA4 is around a 0.8. And then when you go shorter to a 20-inch barrel, that gets knocked down to like 0.185, 16. Cut rifle barrels are a 0.16. Mueller Works barrels are about a 0.8 or 0.18. Schillens are about a 0.2. So every barrel and every barrel manufacturer, based off experience building so many of these, you start seeing performance differences at different lengths. So I always recommend 24 as an all-around performer. I personally run a 26-inch barrel simply because it helps balance out the rifle running on an ACC Elite. I don't have to put any kind of internal weights. You could add maybe one internal weight and get your weight of the rifle about 1 inch in front of the magwell. But I'm 6'2". I'm a pretty big dude, so I can swing the weight. It doesn't bother me. But for guys that are like shorter, a little more weight sensitive, maybe a newer shooter, you don't want a 26-pound rifle swinging around. I mean, it's kind of difficult too. But yeah, that's just my take. 26 is kind of a good all-around performer, or 24 is a all good round performer. 26 is what I choose. You just pulled the motor out by yourself? We were talking, guys. Look at it. Get the motor ripped out. What this filled? How much transmission fluid did come out? So, dude, this is actually a built 350 small block. I already built this thing a long time ago, but we went to the range like 2 years ago with my youngest son here, Noni, and Noah. Call him Chicken Little. We had the oil line that was on the engine pop off on us, and dude, by the time I noticed the oil light was on, it was too late. It seized up the whole motor. So this is our little project here in our house. Yeah, get the. No, for one, you're gonna remove the torque converter.
I already am. That's when I lifted it.
Yeah, all the fluid's gonna come out. So we're gonna put this. We're gonna put a.
Hold it up.
No, we're gonna put a higher stall. We're gonna put a 3000 stall on this thing. So. All right. Get that on the engine stand. Get this down. You don't want to fall on your foot. Yep. They don't make trucks like this anymore, fellas. I mean, that's the reason why we have this thing. And we live pretty humble. I don't got a new truck, and this is what I got. So this is an old 96 square body. But we're gonna put a 383 stroker in this thing. Just get rid of all the electronics. Go fully carbureted. Put a Holley carb in this thing. High-rise Holley carb, and get rid of. The only electronics we're gonna have is AC. Cruise control, obviously an alternator, and a power steering pump. I mean, that's all we're gonna have. This thing's gonna be basic. It's gonna be set up to where we have an EMP strike. This thing's gonna run. Yeah, this thing's pretty dirty. Woo! I haven't seen this motor or this engine bay like this in a while. What's up?
Remember that guy over your old shooting spot? Whenever he yelled at us for going over there.
Oh yeah.
That was so annoying.
Yeah. Well, it's got a built that's a TH80 or what the hell? Yeah, I forgot the transmission. It's built. It's got sunrise clutch packs and all that. Torque converter's built. That thing's built for 600 horsepower. So 383. That's 400 torque. That should be all right. But Vanessa Kitty, I'm taller by an inch. Mule Team 6, what's up, brother? Machine harmonics sounding good in the background. Yes, no, that's what's running right now is the good old DN Solutions. Siled on idle right now. I'm running this thing old school way with 2-3 blocks. I don't even have a touch probe installed yet. They're supposed to come here around December. Good old 2-3 blocks, soft jaws, and a piece of paper to touch off. So that's what I'm doing. I ran the 4th axis today. I put a little small centering vise, a Haas centering vise on here, and I did the kinematics on it. Checked out the repeatability. This needs to cant over. It's off by 4/10, so I need to move it over slightly. But this machine is pretty damn rigid. Honestly, I mean, for the cost of this thing, this Sile X7 is probably one of the best investment VMCs if you guys are going to get into like garage gunsmithing or just garage machining. This is a good machine to get, guys. Like I really recommend this. I don't know about the controller though. The controller, the Siemens 828D, I did purchase this through Titans of CNC. I'm not liking this controller. I wish I had the other Siemens or the other controller that had the soft keys. This one is just not user-friendly in my opinion. Maybe I'll give it some more time, but as of right now, you know, a week playing with this controller, this operating controller, it's not really good. The other downside to this machine, it's got a very, very cheap hand wheel. I mean, this thing feels like a Harbor Freight hand wheel. It does have a dead man switch right here, so if you have it on hand, let's say I put it on hand and you actually bump it, see, nothing ain't going to happen, right? You got to actually physically hold that button down and then turn the wheel. Right there, you can see it move in the background. So one hand operation really isn't easy. If you're sitting there trying to touch off a tool, you know, I got to do it like that. So I don't know, something to get used to, but it's definitely a machine that's allowing me to make parts a hell of a lot easier. Parts like a recoil lug. These are made out of 17-4 stainless steel. They're going to be precision ground after heat treating. But even though I can make this on a turn mill, it is a hell of a lot more rigid, faster, and easier to make it on a vertical mill. You know, this whole reason why we bought this machine, honestly, is because I've tried calling around a lot of shops to outsource some of the parts and work, and honestly just didn't get good quotes, didn't get answers back from a lot of machine shops. I got lead times that are just outrageous, and then trying to buy a recoil lug from like PTG. Well, PTG is like one of the worst companies I've ever dealt with as far as customer service, so that was out of the question. There's no recoil lug out there that's a full size. I mean, there's probably 2 or 3 recoil lugs out there that are 1.35 diameter to match the action body. So I could have bought like BT recoil lugs. The problem with those is that those recoil lugs are like a 1.2 diameter, and it's just going to look funky. It's going to be a smaller diameter than the action. I want this thing to look good and have the recoil lug match the action diameter. And then folks are wondering, why don't I integrate the recoil lug onto the action? Well, there's no benefit to it, honestly. It's actually harder to have a squared up recoil lug to an action. Imagine this being all one piece. For one, the material alone has to be a lot larger. I would have to start off with a 2-inch bar stock and cut out all that material. So if I had to integrate a recoil lug, it'll be a hell of a lot more material starting off. Think about how thick that recoil lug would have to be, and then the action body, all that had to be milled away. And there's no benefit. I can control the tolerances as far as the tenon length with the recoil lug. The other benefit to this is that I can utilize something like this. This is a WTO, West Texas Ordnance recoil lug, switch lug. This will allow us to implement the switch lug on our action right here and allow you guys to go between a 17 HMR and 22 long rifle just by swapping a mag and swapping a barrel. You untorque that barrel, T25 Torx head, swap in a new barrel by hand, crank it down. I got videos on this on the center fire. It's the same concept. Torque it down by hand, torque down that Torx nut 25 inch-pounds or 35 inch-pounds. Slap on a Remex mag, WSM mag, and you're off shooting 17 HMR. So that's another reason why we're using a recoil lug. It's, again, to recap, integrated recoil lug, there's no benefit to it. There's actually more negatives to it. Machining an integrated recoil lug is difficult to keep all the tolerances good, and also have the tolerance of the back of the recoil lug being flat. It's a hell of a lot easier and a hell of a lot more precise to separate the recoil lug, have this precision ground to whatever thickness I need to compensate for any tolerance stacking on the action. So if I want the barrel length to be exactly 1.696, I'm just gonna throw a number out there, and the action itself ended up being short 5 thousandths, well, I could compensate that by a thicker recoil lug, and that's another reason why we're doing that. So we can really control the tolerances. This is going to be a precision. Oh, this is a precision action. Another cool thing that I've been doing is making the firing pins. The firing pins are made out of S7 tool steel. I'm making them out of this machine, and maybe that's a video I could show. But I turned this little turn mill, and this is what DN Solutions, the guys came over. You're like, how in the hell are you doing eccentric turning? Which is basically, if you notice, the main bar is down here, and then I have the pin up here, which is offset. Eccentric turning is very complicated. It's a very complicated machining task where this is spinning, but in order to offset a turn cycle, you have to have the milling head move up and down at the same time as it's spinning. So it's going to do this. That's how it turns. It took me a while to figure that out, but this machine definitely does it. I also have it to where the subspindle grabs the bar stock, and it converts this machine into a Swiss lathe. So I got a Delrin bushing, and the turning tool is closest to the chuck, keeping the rigidity, and it pulls the material like a Swiss lathe. Let me turn that compressor off. Yep, just another part we're making. Firing pin springs, very similar to a Voodoo. The difference between this one is that it sits back further to allow the Remex mag. These can work with a Voodoo. These can't work with a Voodoo action bolt assembly. It's pretty much set up the same. It's just that it sits back further. It does have a different thread pitch in the back. I opted out to a 62 TPI. And then the sear blocks also made out of this machine, which is another part that I can make out of the new Sile. These are made out of S7. You can see the discoloration. That's heat treated. So this is, I'm actually certified to heat treat, but these are heat treated to a Rockwell of 48 HRC. And that's prior to nitride. So these sear blocks definitely will hold up. S7 is a really good material for shock resistance. It's one of the only tool steels out there. Like a lot of S7 is, good hammers are made out of S7 tool steel. It could absorb the blows and not crack, not deform. That's why it's a really good material to have as a firing pin, sear block. It isn't a good material to make an action body or bolt assemblies out of. If you're making a bolt assembly out of S7, that material likes to gouge. It likes to grab stainless steel. It likes to grab on each other and eventually gouge. So it's really meant for things that are impact rated. Firing pins, bolt stops are another one that's made out of S7 at my action. Sear blocks, all of that takes a shock is that's why we made them out of S7. So, have you measured or do you have an idea how short the lock time is on the action, depending on the trigger? Actually, that's what I've worked on. The lock timing on this action is one of the shortest. Now, I don't have an action that's completed right now. We send them all out to nitride coating. But talking with Mike Bush, since I am using the Voodoo firing pin assembly, the sear block as well is set up with Voodoo. What he's talking about is, when does the sear block, which will be right here on a Voodoo, engage the trigger? So for us, the sear block engages the trigger right about the first 2 or 3 degrees. So right about there is when it engages. It's held back with obviously the trigger. Now there is no trigger hangers, but the firing pin only the firing pin is only pulled back like less than 1/4 of an inch, and it's held on by 19-pound spring. So when that sear lets go, it's only moving 1/4 of an inch, which is almost half of what a lot of the other manufacturers are doing. It's just enough strike, enough powerful strike, but the milliseconds is very, very minimal. It's actually less. I forgot the calculation. I had somebody show me the calculation on the sear geometry. It's less than a Voodoo, so the lock timing is faster, and the firing pin strike is faster than the Voodoo. It's very, very close to a 2500X or a turbo action. So the milliseconds, those little microseconds, is just enough time to cause your rifle, for you to induce a movement of your rifle before the bullet exits. You got to remember, there's a little bit of a dwell time as the firing pin strikes the rim of the cartridge. The rim then ignites the propellant. The bullet starts taking its travel down the barrel. And obviously subsonic, there's milliseconds. They're talking maybe 30, 40 milliseconds, which isn't a lot. I mean, that's less than a blink of an eye, but it's just enough for you to induce a slight angle change or a difference on preload of your rifle, and it can induce your point of impact and change your accuracy. So that's why lock timing is very important. And I really made this thing able to, for one, change the lock timing. The Voodoo V22 system, which Mike Bush did a good video on, you could change the lock timing, which is the firing pin protrusion, by screwing out the firing pin. Like if you wanted to increase it, you would screw it out to where the firing pin sits back further, or you could decrease it by screwing it in. The difference by doing that, though, you also decrease the firing pin spring rate. So there's a good fine balance between the firing pin spring, how much you need to have consistent ignition, and then your lock timing being minimal. So this action alone is very fast as it is, as it's set up, but it also has the ability to change your lock timing by playing around with the firing pin protrusion, just like a Voodoo. I could probably demonstrate that if this one is loose. So like on a Voodoo, this would be set up just like our action. This is a Voodoo 360 Gen 2. If that set screw is loose, you'll be able to basically spin the bolt head to screw in the firing pin, or screw it out to decrease your lock timing. So that's how you adjust your Voodoo. Same thing with our action. You could adjust it that way as well. As a manufacturer, you have total quality control. Call it a personalized. Yes, exactly, brother. We are probably one of the only shops that are making this action or that are making a 22 action that is doing everything in-house. There's only maybe a handful, maybe 2 other shops doing that. I am controlling every quality of this action by making all the parts, by ensuring the heat treatment is done correctly, the nitride coating is done correctly, the tolerances are all done correctly. I could check everything. The bolts are all matched to every action. That's another thing that I'm doing, is that the tolerances of this action are super tight. The bolt raceway and then the bolt assembly, I mean, it's only got like 2 or 3 thousandths clearance, you know. But every bolt, I hand fit the bolts on. It takes a little bit of lapping with JB bore paste to make sure that the bolt doesn't stick. You know, you can see there's a little bit of stickiness right there. I lap that out, and then whatever bolts that I lap out to the action, they get sterilized, right? Obviously, these are lapped out before nitride coating. Nitride coating really helps out with lubricity, but every action gets checked with, this is what I call my go gauge. It's an actual action or bolt assembly. So they get checked as it's being machined. All right, let's see what this thing's doing now. When this gets all said and done, I throw my bolt body in there, bolt assembly. I make sure this thing locks down. There's no resistance, nothing funky. If there is, then I double check everything using I got certified gauge blocks. I got all kinds of stuff here. Little gauge blocks and stuff that I use. Measuring tools. Make sure everything is quality fit. But nothing's being outsourced, and that's going to allow me to make sure all these parts are coming in, or all these parts being made are basically top quality. I mean, you start outsourcing any parts, for one, then you start relying on them. Your quality is going to go down. Your quality control is going to go down. Your lead times are going to increase, and then you're subject to them. Like if they, for some reason, decided to take on another project and postpone your project and not tell you, well, I mean, that's the downside of outsourcing work. Material, if you don't keep enough material on hand, you know, obviously you could run into increased lead times. So when you start running into companies that are contracted doing multiple actions, I'm not going to say who, throw names out there, but there's a company out there in Washington doing that, and yeah, they're making a really good product, but they control everything. You know, they could say one day, hey, no, we crashed a spindle, our production is down, we're going to have to postpone you X amount of days, or they could also increase the price whenever. You know, you just don't know, and then you don't know what metal they're getting. That's another thing, guys. Like, I spent a lot of time really figuring out the metal to use and getting certified. Like, when I'm talking about certified, I'm getting an actual certification, ASTM certification for the metal, knowing exactly what composition it is and holding them to that standard. You know, I also do have an XRF analyzer, spectrum analyzer, so I could verify that there's no contamination on the metal. A lot of our metal that we get is outsourced overseas. Like a lot of the stainless steel, the metal that I purchase is all it's all sourced here in America. All certified grade A stainless steel, certified here in America. It gets shipped out, ASTM standardized, a certification in my hands, and I know what I got. Obviously, when I heat treat as well, that's going to tell me. I check the hardness from the heat treating, and that's going to tell me if there's any issues with that. You know, I did try out a stainless steel Condition A 416, built in action, and somehow I've never seen it happen, but it cracked the action in half. There was a stress crack all the way down the action. You know, that's something that I personally haven't seen ever, but that was stainless steel that wasn't certified. So, you know, that's a good indication why it's very important to know what kind of steel you're using. And then as far as, you know, how steel works and everything, this is a whole learning curve, and I'm not a professional of this at all. I do consult guys that are engineers in this industry. They're called metal specialists, metal applications, and they'll tell you exactly for what you're trying to do. They'll tell you, okay, this is the metal that's going to handle the stress. This is the metal that's going to, with this kind of coating, is going to work for what you're trying to do. Interference fitment, Like you're looking at 3 parts here that are turning. You got your firing pin cap, got your bolt rotating assembly, you got your bolt head, and then obviously this is a toolless design, so the bolt head. I'm trying to do this one-handed here. So the bolt head, obviously, you could get disassembled just like a voodoo, but all of that's inside causing friction. You get the wrong metals in there, the wrong tolerance. After heat treating, after nitriding, all of that can move, and then that no longer will interference fit. And then for us, we got a bolt stop. My bolt stop hits the back of that bolt head. That's why I have a groove right here. So this bolt head is made out of S7 tool steel, so it's got to withstand the impacts from you guys really slamming the bolt back. So picking the metal, I mean, I really thank Mike Bush for this, for telling me what metals to use from experience. Now, we went with a 4000 series steel for the bolt rotating assembly. Heat treated to about a 52 Rockwell, nitride coated. It's super, super slick. It's the best feeling metal on an action to go with a 416 or 17.4 stainless and a 4000 series steel. This thing rides like butter back and forth. I could pretty much demonstrate that without any coating. You can see it's smooth as it is right now without any coating. Just being bare metal. Not even heat treated, not even nitride coated. And that's what happens when you consult experts in this industry that know what they're doing. They'll tell you, okay, use this metal, do this to it, get this coating. You're going to get the feel quality of a quality action. So wire EDM cut action, certified stainless steel, certified 4000 series steel, machined obviously in-house, controlling that quality, controlling the tolerance. These are going to be setting the bar. That's my goal. I definitely want to set the bar in this industry, put away all the issues that we've been seeing in the field, and put an action out there that's going to be quality. Like, if you guys are going to spend $1,000, $1,200 on an action, it better start with good quality steel. It better be machined correctly. It better not have issues. You know, I've spent 8 months really dialing this product in, not trying to fulfill a void. I focused this product to basically get rid of the issues that we're having with feeding. You know, that's why we have this mag buffer system. You know, that really stems from how the CZ457 operates. So the action itself, it's got 3 locking points. You know, people keep talking about, well, where's your locking lugs? Well, the CZ457 on-shoot 1710 all use the bolt handle. That's a big ass piece of metal. That's a good locking lug. That ain't moving. It's got very little play, and that little play is all taken up with the adjustable headspace lug that we implemented. So that's another feature. We have a lug that's adjustable. We're going to have a pack of lugs which allow you to adjust your headspace from 39 thousandths all the way up to 48 thousandths just by changing that out. So kind of another unique feature. T8 Torx hit bit. This is the same bits that my inserts on my tooling are held onto. Very similar. Hold on, let me see if I have one. Let's see. I know I got inserts here. So these are Torx bits that, similar to this, hold inserts. These go through a lot of tool pressure. iScar tool insert, T8 Torx bit holding on the Recoil lug. That ain't going to come off unless you guys keep it loose. You loosen that up, turn it around, that's headspace for Lapua. Turn it the other way, that's headspace for Ely. So, a very unique feature. I think our action and a Pedasoli action are the only ones that have adjustable headspace. That's going to really make, I mean, it makes a huge difference. I think I'll do a video one of these days, or I'll let like Josh or somebody non-biased that's going to take my action and really give you guys a good review. We'll show you how much of a difference it does just changing the headspace. Like, I have my personal rifle if I swap it to an Ely headspace, my velocity decreases for some reason. Decreases like 40 feet a second. I don't know why, but it does. But that shows you that headspace is a huge factor to accuracy. So changing the headspace to an Ely headspace from a 41 thou to a 44 thou on my personal rifle went from shooting a .35 to a .12 just by changing the headspace, changing the lug on the action. So that's how much of a difference it makes. Again, we'll have a bunch of adjustable headspace lugs where you guys could buy this pack. Very similar to having bolt shims. So instead of you taking your bolt assembly apart, right, like a traditional bolt shim, taking your bolt assembly apart, adding a shim inside of here, reassembling your bolt assembly, and hoping to God that you know you got your measurements correct. All of that guesswork is going to be taken out with our adjustable lugs that we're going to provide. So coming from us, from the factory, from us, is going to be a Lapua headspace. It's going to be labeled L and E. So basically, 41 thou or 40 thou headspace if it's swapped to Ely, and 44 for Lapua just by swapping the lug. And then we'll have adjustable lugs that are set up, you know, with thousandths of an inch, like .002. Other side will be .003. The next set of lugs will be .004, .005. That's how you're going to have that adjustable headspace. So you'll be able to change the lugs, get your headspace how you want it. Canada, Luigi, check out Boss Gear, Burrell Outdoors. Travis is our main and only distributor for Canada. So reach out to Travis at Boss Gear or Burrell Outdoors. He's on Instagram. Let him know you want to put an order in, and we work with him directly. We will be shipping these to Canada very soon. What group sizes have you found with Lapua and Ely with that adjustable? Okay, so going back to, at least with my experience with the lot tested ammo that I have, now I shoot primarily Lapua. Just changing the headspace alone, going plus or minus 2 thou with just that one lot of ammo, I've seen it change the group size by at minimum, 1/8 of an inch total. So I could go from a .37, .35 ammo that didn't really shoot well, change the headspace to a 43 or 42 thou, and that specific lot of ammo is now shooting under a 3, like .2 something. So it makes a huge difference. It allows you to really fine tune a lot more than what a tuner will ever do. Changing your headspace makes a lot more difference downrange on one specific type of ammo. If you're trying to tune that ammo, you play around with the headspace first. The second thing you're going to play around with is the firing pin springs. Since these use the Voodoo V22 firing pin springs, Mike Bush or DDG, D-Lane Development Group, Mike Bush's company, you could purchase a whole spring pack that ranges from 15 pounds or 14 pounds. Excuse me, it starts at 12 pounds all the way up to 21 pounds. Changing your firing pin springs also changes your group size. But being able to change your headspace makes it a huge factor with accuracy. There's a lot of videos. I think Copper Star Precision did one where he was playing around with bolt shims on his CZ457 and showed how he really fine-tuned his group size with just that one specific lot of ammo by changing headspace. There's a lot of guys that have really good success changing the headspace of their ammo, doing a lot more than what a tuner ever will do. Now, I'm not saying tuners don't work. What I'm trying to say is that a headspace is more effective. So we have that. Next thing you're going to want to play with is firing pin springs. These are a maintenance item. A lot of folks forget to replace these. I don't know why, but they do. This wears over time. Spring rates fail. Springs sag. If this gets stored in your safe and it's in a cocked position, this is eventually going to lose its spring rate. If you don't change this out, your firing pin spring is not going to strike like it used to. So a lot of folks that are complaining about loss of accuracy over time, shooting maybe a year later, I don't know why my rifle doesn't shoot. Well, it's because you probably didn't change out your firing pin spring. And that firing pin spring is at a rate now that is striking less than ideal for your system. So We're talking about bench rest guys that shoot small bore ARA bench rests. They do play around with firing pin spring rates. That is one of the key components for increasing accuracy of your rifle system. The key to it is finding a spring that is about 1 pound over failure. So what you're going to do is you're going to fine tune your firing pin system with how I showed earlier, how to adjust your lock timing. Get it to where it strikes consistent, and get it to where it strikes to where it just about fails once in a while. Once you get to that point, you increase your firing pin spring by 1 pound. And that's going to be ideal for the system. What it's trying to do, or what you're trying to accomplish, is find a firing pin strike of your system to strike the ammunition that you're using, the specific lot of ammo, to not disrupt the primer and gunpowder inside this cartridge. There's about 1 grain of powder, and the primer is very sensitive. So if you start disrupting or striking this thing too hard, it causes more of a percussion and causes your standard deviation and velocity, your initial peak pressures will start spiking erratically. So what you wanted to do is just strike it just enough to where it allows the primer system to ignite the powder and let it burn uniformly. And that's how you get your lower SD numbers. This is another reason why I'm not a big fan of the Bergara B14R. The Bergara B14R firing pin system is an impingement system. It utilizes a return spring. It's not a very consistent strike. I forgot I had a piezoelectric sensor with an Arduino that I let it go on my personal Bergara. I measured firing pin spring strikes that varied plus or minus 10 pounds. That's a lot. So, and that includes and that entails higher SD numbers. So if you guys have a Bergara, I'm not saying there's not a lot of them out there that don't shoot. What I'm trying to say is that if you were to take an aggregate group of 100 shots of a Bergara B14R, compare it to like a CZ457 or non-shoots, I could almost guarantee you that a CZ with a custom barrel versus a Bergara with a custom barrel, the CZ will have a lower SD number than a Bergara. And that's because the firing pin system on a Bergara is not as consistent. You got to have consistency in your firing pin system. Solid one-piece firing pin strike. You want this thing to be, once released from the sear block, to move instantly as one piece, one solid unit, to strike your system, to strike to strike the rim of the cartridge. If it's like a Bergara, you're going to have a hammer. It's going to hit the firing pin, then it's going to push the firing pin forward, then it's going to strike the cartridge and then return. There's a lot of movement in that. That increases lock timing, and that's why the Bergara B14R, in my opinion, is a horrible system. Designated bore guide. Yes, little Snoop. Let me show you that real quick. So, bore guides. We got these on the website right now. Yes, they are 3D printed, but they hold up, right? Bore guides should be cheap, should be affordable, and should be accessible. So if you guys have a 3D printer, you guys want these files and you guys purchase one of our actions, we have no problem sending you this file for you to 3D print. This is a dedicated bore guide. Get an action out here. This clips into the locking lug of our action, not allowing it to move. Just trying to get an action out. All right. So this action has a lock, has a bolt stop in here. So this is going to go in, and it locks in right on the bolt stop, right there. Doesn't want to come out. It's going to stay situated right in there. So it has a little access port on our bore guide system to allow you to put your patch in there, throw your solvents in there. This completely 100% covers the trigger assembly. If you notice, the bore guide's extended all the way out, and that's so you guys don't drip your solvents into your trigger assembly. Guys that like to run hoppies or like to run the Vortec products, the Vortec cleaner itself is a gelatin substance. It likes to gel up. If that lubricant or that bore cleaner gets down into your trigger assembly, I can almost guarantee you over time, if you don't clean that, your trigger is going to lock up on you. I've seen it. It happens a lot of times. So having a bore guide that completely covers and keeps the solvents from dripping down into your trigger assembly is going to mitigate that. So again, this is a full bore guide system. It goes right over your magwell buffer. It locks in place using the bolt stop. Won't move, won't rotate. It's going to stay still, and it's going to be affordable. Now, the bolt stop system or the magwell system will not allow your bore guides or your cleaning rods to scratch. That's like I said, another reason why I went with my ejector on my bore guide being rubber, so it doesn't scratch your cleaning rod. So these are available on the website right now. You can purchase these. We have a few of them in stock right now. We just released our actions today for previous clients to order. We had a limited amount of 20 actions or barreled actions ready to go. That is all. That's all taken. What we call said for. So all 20 of those actions are set for. We're going to be dumping everything back at this business, buying more machines, trying to keep up with production. But 20 is kind of where I feel comfortable as of right now to make sure I fulfill current orders right now with CZ457s. We are focusing on RimX clients right now. That's what all these actions are going towards. We have a batch of 20 actions coming back from nitride coating. So guys that had the RimX actions, I swapped. You guys are getting your actions, your barreled actions first. After that, we have we're going to be focusing on the CZs and fulfilling our previous clients, our orders that we took in today for the Genes1s action. Yeah, I get you, brother. It would be nice to have subscribers had first a crack at owning a Genesis. You know, Nikolai, I think that's a good thing. I think what I can do, I've always contemplated this. My channel, my YouTube channel, is not meant for gaining money. I don't want to use YouTube for revenue. I mean, honestly, this channel is really developed to learn precision together. That's always been my motto. Not to collect money, get few products. How I could do that, the only way I thought about doing that is having like a subscriber or a member opportunity where if you're a member, I'll put out a video, an instructional video how to order our Genes1s action. We could probably do that, but unfortunately it's going to require a membership with this channel. That's something that I've always strayed away from doing, any kind of Patreon, any of that. But if that's something you guys really want, that's where I need you guys to voice your opinion. Let me know, and if I get enough requests for folks that watch my channel and want first access, maybe that's something I could do. I do want to have fair game for the public to get this action. I mean, it's something that took 8 months to develop, and obviously we are dumping everything back to make sure production. We got two more CNC machines on the way. It's going to take some time. I mean, everybody starts somewhere small. We are dedicated to making sure that we will be able to fulfill this product and keep up with quality. We're always going to put quality first over quantity. So if I can't fulfill quantity, at least I know my quality is up there. But we'll do everything we can to make sure and take a stab at it as far as the manufacturer. But I do want to have opportunity for the public to get first grabs at it too as well. I mean, it's already got delayed. We were supposed to release this action to the public last month. We got delayed, obviously, with our machines being stuck at the port harbor. A couple things like the springs, our shipping boxes took a while to get. Little small administrative stuff that's taken a lot of time is what really delayed this project. But we're moving along. And then I'm just telling everybody, like, just hang on, fellas. Like, this is going to be big. This action is going to be awesome. I've seen this in the field. I think I've been demonstrating this personally. A lot of folks that are pro shooters have ran it as well. Will tell you, vouch for it. It's definitely a game changer. I wanted to set the bar in this industry. So when you guys see this in the field, definitely ask the person who has this, get your hands on it and see and feel it for yourself. I can't self-promote my product. I'm going to let these things shine. I'm going to let these things really shine and basically show you guys what it's capable of doing. And the biggest factor of it is eliminating the issues of feeding. Eliminating, not just putting a band-aid on it by aftermarket parts. We are eliminating the feeding problems. And we're doing that by getting rid of the mag fitting issues. So with design and the testing of those designs. So again, if that's something you want to see, you guys that are subscribers to my channel have been a follower and wanted first dibs on it, throw me a comment on any of my videos. I read them, and if I get enough requests, maybe I could do something like that. I do want to be fair and give opportunity for everybody, and I have to be honest that there's a huge demand. I mean, I didn't know how fast these things were going to go just with our own DPG clients. It went really quick. So it's a point to where, okay, we got to make drastic changes as far as getting machinery in our shop quick. I got help here, but he's going to be helping me building these actions too. I've been training him to operate these machines. We got robotic arms. These machines are running all night. I mean, there's only so much I could do without getting help eventually. So hang in there, guys. I can almost guarantee you, you're going to see a big shift within a year of this product changing the market, in my opinion. Time frame to start to finish, bulge action. Okay, so it takes about 4 hours to complete a action body, start to finish. That's from pure bar stock steel, like you can see on the ground right here. Comes from a round bar, to threading, wire EDM, to back on this machine and cut out like this. It's about 4 hours. That's the action body. The little parts, like the firing pin cap, that's another hour to make, about an hour and a half. Rotating bolt assembly, like the one in here. You can see all the bunch of iterations that I have. These are about 2 hours. So all in all, there's about a total, like recoil lug, another hour. You start adding this up, it's like 6-7 hours of work, machine time on this action. And that's doing it on this machine, this Doosan. The machine we're getting is called the DNX 2100. If you want to take a look at that, that's DN Solutions' newest turn mill CNC, state of the art, laser touch probing, laser guidance, self-automated system, a dedicated 25 horsepower milling head, 64 tool turret holder. I mean, that thing is bells and whistles. That machine, when the engineer came down, the main guy from DN Solutions, and we were talking about it, looked at our product, he told me straight up, you're gonna cut the machine time to nearly half. So what is taking me 8 hours to build, once I get that machine, is gonna cut it down to about 4.5. And it's gonna run all night. And how that's gonna operate is I'll have a robotic arm. It's gonna pick up these slugs. That's why I have these little, I'm gonna call it a magazine. It picks up these little magazines right here, loads it into the actual machine, and the machine will start milling it out 4 at a time. So that's gonna really bump up production. The biggest thing about that is that it's a hell of a lot more rigid machine. Milling capability of that machine is superior to this. A hell of a lot more rigid than what this could ever do. And definitely quality will go up. So that's a machine that I'd say it's very expensive. It's a $500,000 investment. But having that machine, this for barrel work, that for all the small parts. DNX is going to go right here. The other DNX is going to go right there. So we'll have 2 of those like that, 2 DNXs. That's going to really bump up production for us. Running 24/7, robotic arms, all of that. I am basically going all out of the best tooling in the industry. I'm not snooty. I don't have to get a DMG Mori, because for the price of a DMG, I could get 2 of those DNXs and they do the exact same quality. Yeah, it's gonna be huge. So 8 hours, I think, is pretty good for an action. That's basically 1 a day. That's how I look at it, you know, right now as I'm set up. So it's 30 actions a month is where I'm at with just 1 machine. And we'll have 2 more coming in, which are going to double. Just one machine is going to double the capacity. So I'll be 90 actions on with 2 machines. Add a third one. That's going to be 120 actions a month. That's what I'm hoping for. So we'll see. We want this product to come out smooth, come out swinging full guns, swinging out of the gate, knocking people out, knocking the competitors in their feet. That's what our goal is. Then we can focus on taking that investment on this product and dedicating toward like a dedicated bench rest build. So our next project on this is going to a single shot, where I take the Voodoo firing pin assembly and convert it to a V22 single shot, have a dedicated bench rest action, and that's the next step. After this, we're going straight into F class. We're going right into the center fire game. It's not hard to take this action, put locking lugs in, and make it a center fire. So we got plans. Well, I got plans. As long as I got breath in my lungs, I'm gonna make it happen. Taylor Moon, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I'm glad to keep you guys updated. I like being transparent. I think it's cool that you guys get to see like what I'm doing behind the curtains, even late at night, working. This is what I do every day. I'm always here working. And, got actions being made. I mean, you can see right now. As I started this live chat, that's how much it got done. So it's cutting the mag well out right now. May get some coolant on that. That's running pretty heavy. Let's see the load when it cuts. So 1/2 inch end mill. Let's see, I think it gets up to 12. It's not super bad, but it's, yeah, 22%. I mean, being conservative, I got to make sure my tool life wear, I could push it further than that, obviously, if I wanted to, but this machine and the live tools are not super rigid. If I start pushing it really, really hard, those live tools eventually need to be serviced, and they're very expensive. Those live tools are about $7 grand a piece. So I got 9 of those in there. I'll give you kind of an indication how much tooling is in this machine right now. The new bottleneck will be inspection, the final inspection. Each 100 rounds. Yes. So we are still going to be shooting these rifles. I mean, at the end of the day, that's still the goal. I build 1 rifle, 1 or 2 a day, 3 a day, whatever I could do. We're going to take it out like I always do and test them. A few things that kind of aid to that is we control our barrels. We make our own barrels. So we got our batch of barrels and everything here. This is what I have left. These are all dedicated to the CZ guys. That's all CZ. I had a bunch of barrels made. This was all full at one point, and those are all done for the Genes1s Actions right now. So they got sent out. Well, they're just sitting underneath here. There's a lot of the barrels right there. Those are actions. They're all serialized. They're done. So when the actions come back, those barrels get put back on. But these are all CZs. These are all our Genes1s Actions, and we have another batch of barrels coming in. But we make our barrels. It's made basically by my family. Can't really get into all the details. We're under NDA, but ECM rifle barrels. They're nice. Unbranded barrels, obviously, but they go through a stringent quality inspection. I got my own little, I got my own air gauge tool, so I air gauge these things out. But I'm always trying different barrel manufacturers. So, like, for instance, I got a Criterion barrel right here. I was trying to see if these new Criterion barrels are worth a damn, and they're not. They suck. These 22 Criterion barrels, I've had maybe 1 out of 10 shoot all right. So that was a hard pass for us. And again, that's my investment, my own money, purchasing barrels. Criterion. Tried CRB, they suck. So those barrels, I'll have a nice little video about that. We actually had to almost take them to court, but yeah. Krieger barrels, I continue to try them. We'll try the Krieger barrel here and there. But so far, our barrels are just being superior in the market. They are definitely performing very well. the difference of this is I'm buying batches of 100 or more barrels, right? I'm actually able to see overall quality of a batch of barrels. If I order 100 barrels and 20 of those don't shoot, that's not a good turnaround. So, you know, to say one brand is better than the other, I'm not brand loyal. I'm chasing quality in the market. So whatever is able to produce higher quality at the time is what I'm going to go for. Shillin's always been my top choice, but I can't get a hold of a damn Shillin barrel. We had an order for 2 years and never got it. So, yeah, as of right now, our barrels are the only ones that we're able to get in our hands and hold. Out of 100 barrels, there's maybe 5 or 6 that don't shoot well. That's decent enough for a turnaround. You know, you're talking $425 is the cost of those barrels for me. That's the shipping cost going back and forth, sending it out to Scottsdale for nitride treating, the cryogenic treating. They come back cryogenically treated. That's another expense. These barrels cost about $520 when it's all said and done. I don't make money on barrels. I make money on my work. Yeah, Shillin barrels shoot slow. You're 100% correct. They are taper lapped. So the Shillin barrels, they shoot really well. The difference, the problem with the Shillin barrel is that they taper lap them. So they start at like a 0.213, 6 or 8, that almost a 214 diameter at the bore towards the chamber. That initial pressure, peak spike of pressure when the cartridge is ignited, there's a lot of gas blow by. You lose a lot of peak pressure, drops your velocity. So Shillin barrels are notorious for running slow. That's why a lot of guys that shoot Shillin shoot the high velocity lots of Ely, like the Midas Plus that's rated at 333 or 329 meters a second. Ely shoots pretty decent with the Shillin barrel. The good thing about the Shillin barrel is that their ratchet rifling produces a very, very high G1BC. It's the highest in the market that I've seen. So long range performance is really, really good with the Shillin barrel. So that's why I've seen a lot of Shillin barrels really perform at 200 plus meters. Our rifles are semi-ratchet. It's a rifling design that I came up with and pretty much lent out to another barrel manufacturer. And they use it and they're working really, really well. Copper Star, I got a clear certificate for a Shillin barrel NRO 22 2 years ago. Oh my gosh. See, exactly. So, yeah. Yeah, he could confirm there. Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. We got an order that's 2 years old, man. Still haven't got a Shillin barrel. Yeah, keen to see the video on the CRB. So I'm going off my experience. We got 63 of those barrels that came in my shop. Absolutely sucked ass. They were just horrible. The first 15, they were all over the place. Now I got my own bore gauge or air gauge tool, but this is what I use. I'll show you. So we had a hard time with Austin to the point to where we actually had to threaten legal lawsuit on them to get our money back. So I got these little certified gauges. I mean, the barrels that I got from CRB, the first one that I got was really, really good. Shot awesome. I'm like, okay, cool. This is the kind of quality we're going to receive. Cool, let's make an order. So I'll place an order for 100 barrels. Came in 15 at a time, broken pallets. It came in that little balsa wood box, completely freaking shattered. UPS was like, why the hell is he shipping in this crap ass box? So that's another complaint I'm gonna say. It came in that balsa wood box, all completely broken up. Started building them. Built 4 or 5 different rifles out of it. I was like, the first thing I did is throw my plug gauges down there and hung up. Every single one hung up on a 0.2171. Just it hung up down the middle of the barrel. So that was a big indication that there's a tight spot in the barrel. So when I started playing with those barrels, yeah, first thing I noticed, cold bore shift, huge cold bore shifts on the ones. Okay, so let me see if it gets better. It got worse from there. I built a 2500X rifle, completely shot like shit. that CRB barrel, I said, I'm done with this. I built 15, started looking at the rest of the barrels, throwing plug gauges. It just costed me way too much time. Like I said, I spent a whole day building a rifle. If I'm going to spend all day just, and my machining is dead on point, you guys see it. I'm here building these things, top quality machines. You know, our rifles are podium finishers almost every single match. Not bragging, but that's just what they are. It's not nothing I'm doing wrong. If the barrel ain't shooting, and it ain't shooting like anybody else's, then there's something wrong with the barrel. So, yeah, we didn't have luck with it. The problem with cut rifle barrels, and I'll be straightforward with you guys. You have metal, comes in a solid round bar. This is what a barrel manufacturer is going to order. Big bar like this, usually about a 1.25, 1.3 diameter. They're going to have to go use a gun drill. Hopefully their gun drill is dialed in. They know how to operate a gun drill with the pressures of that drill to keep that bore uniform, drill it out. If they don't have that gun drill dialed in correctly, the 22, it's a very skinny ass drill, 0.216 diameter drill. It would be about this size. Imagine this drill bit, 40 inches long. It's gonna be a lot of flex in that drill bit, right? Gun drills are if you ever ran a boring machine, digging a hole under the ground, or boring a bore under the ground, you're gonna have very high density spots in the metal or on the ground, just like in the ground. You're going to have it in the metal. That high density spot in the metal is going to deflect the drill bit downwards, upwards, side to side. Whatever it's going to do is going to wander and weave in there. So if you don't have that drill bit compensating pressure to keep that straight, you're going to have a crooked ass bore. And that's what I found with those CRB barrels. They're crooked as hell, have Peronis, completely crap. So when that's all said and done, you got to bore drill down the barrel. Now this cut rifle, again, you're going to have different density in the metal. As that cutter is pulling back and cutting the rifling, it could skip over a hard spot in the metal. You're going to have a divot. It's going to cut, it's nice and smooth. It's going to hit a hard spot, going to skip, boom. There's a tight spot in your barrel. It's going to cut, skip, tight spot in the barrel. Over time, if that happens, that's how I know. If you ever have a pin gauge, you hang up in the barrel, more than likely one or more spots in the barrel is a tight spot. That's why I think cut rifle barrels for 22 specifically, I'm not saying cut rifles suck, cut rifle barrels in 22 specifically are very, very hard to get uniform, because it has to start with very high quality stainless steel, 416 stainless steel, certified, to make sure that all the metal in there is uniform and in the same exact kind of density. That way when you bore it out, you're not going to have a tight spot. Or if you cut the rifling, you're not going to have a tight spot. Button rifling is different. You could get whatever geometry you want pulled. It's going to make that geometry as it pulls the button down there. Doesn't matter if there's a tight spot in the barrel or a soft spot. It's just going to pull and push that material and swage it in place. That's why you have a more uniform bore with a button rifle barrel. When all that's done, it doesn't matter if it's cut rifled or button rifled, you still have to lap the barrel. Well, barrels have to be lapped. If they're not lapped, you're going to have a problem with the bullets grabbing. Just like an engine. Anybody that's ever built an engine before. The cylinders, you want to cross-hatch your engines, right? The cylinder walls, you cross-hatch them. You cross-hatch them for a reason. For an engine, it's specifically to keep the lubrication in the piston rings. For rimfire or rifles in general, that is to keep the pressures in line from gas cutting. The cross-hatching, and also keeps the friction down. You don't want a bore of a rifle to be super, super mirror smooth. If you have a mirror bore, that's going to increase the friction of your projectile. It's going to grab. Just like gauges, the same thing with these gauges here. These things are obviously precision ground, almost a mirror finish. Certified gauges, you can rub them together and it will stick to one another. Well, these ones aren't doing it, but Mitutoyo gauges, you could literally take these, rub them together, and the gauges will stick to each other. The same concept of the rifle barrel. You got a mirror finished rifle barrel, that bullet's going to want to stick to the bolt. So the cross hatching reduces the friction and also keeps the gas cutting down. So that's why lapping a barrel is very, very important. Shipping carrier shop employees are instructed to throw packages from trucks to conveyor belts less than 70 pounds. That's what breaks the boxes. that's good to know. What's up, Uncle Jim? We're live working. Taking apart a motor. good old Chevy. Good motor out of the truck. We're gonna put a 383 stroker in this bad boy. Let me grab some water here. So yeah, there's a lot, man. There's obviously a lot to talk about as far as how barrels are made, what causes accuracy. For 22 rimfire specifically, bore uniformity is very, very, very important. If you don't want cold bore shift, you want a barrel that doesn't have a tight spot. Can you lap it out? Yes. But the problem is, where exactly are you lapping it out? Like, for instance, I got a tight spot in the barrel. What land or what groove is the tight spot? You don't know. So if you go to lap that specific area out, you may lap out the good lands or grooves. Oh, sorry for the noise. It's just cutting the facets on the outside. So it hums a little bit, but it does a pretty good job. Do you have any contact strippers in Australia? Yes and no. There's if you email us there, Robbie, I think we have a couple contacts that we could direct you to. We've been trying to get on board Wade over there. He's asked about being able to get the Genes1s Action, but again, we are focusing on our American clients right now and the clients that just ordered today. But the clients, more specifically, what's priority are the Remex clients that chose to swap over. Some of them are almost at a 2-year mark, so I have to make sure those guys get their orders first. So we are knocking these things out as fast as we can. They are coming back from nitride, and we are going to have these things in production, in higher production pretty soon, and be able to offer these things worldwide. Do I have pricing figured out? Yes. Barreled actions, they are $2,400. We will have a voucher for the DDG mags. Unless we can get a hold of Mike Bush's DDG mags, they will come with the D-Lane Development Group 10-round aluminum mag. Those are the best mags in the market. Actually, will be the best mags in the market when they got released. I was able to see one in person, and damn, I could vouch for it. It's a freaking awesome mag. It's going to be DDG mags, then the Remex mags, and then anything after that is let's say a tie with each other, or what. But yeah, DDG mags, $2,400, barreled action. We have 2 other shops. So once I get enough of these in my hand, we're going to send these actions out. H&W Guns and Tactical there in Missouri is going to be one. Thermal Suppressors in Phoenix is the other one, Andrew. So Andrew will have access to our actions and our barrels, and if you guys want different contours, if you guys want to put tuners and stuff on, those guys can accommodate stuff like that for you guys. For us, we're keeping it simple. Straight truck axle barrel, barreled action, no trigger, comes with a scope rail and a mag. So we'll ship it to your FFL. So we're offering 24 and 26 inch barrels at the moment. Yep, we've been shipping the first batches. I got was a couple weeks ago, we sent out a bunch to the first clients. We are working down the list, and as we get these actions back from nitride coating, we are shipping them out. I got barrels made for them already. They're all sitting underneath there. Just gotta mount them back onto the appropriate actions and go retest fire them and make sure everything's kosher. And then, yep, we're shipping them out. We released a first order today for previous DPG clients, and those went really, really quick. So we're testing the water. If it's going quick with our original clients, I mean, we're going to have to make some drastic changes, and we are doing that. ordering more machines to keep up with demand. What I want to happen is these ones come out to the market. You guys get them in your hands. Non-biased, honest reviews. You guys go out there, hammer down with these things, and you'll see it's going to prove itself in the field. It's going to be one of the best actions in the market. So that's what I'm hoping for. You guys will be the ones that tell me. I can't just say it's the best action. You guys will tell me. I've always let my rifles speak for themselves. No, I haven't shipped any barrels actions out to popular gun tubers. My clients are first. The guys that invested in me and my company are always going to take priority. Now, we do have pro shooters that have received this. These are our sponsored shooters that represent our company in the field, out there shooting in the matches. They have gotten these actions out, the first iterations, and through their testing, running these actions, Team MDT shooters also shot it. Matt Steiner shot this thing, put about 1,000 rounds in this thing. Shane Ward, the winner of NRL 22 Nationals last year, has had this action for a while, put about a couple thousand rounds in it. Altogether, each one, we had 4 test rifles that got sent out through this whole time period in the last few months. About 25,000 rounds went through all these rifles in the hands of pro shooters. That is the only people that got a hold of these actions. No gun tubers have got these rifles yet. I know they've been bugging, but it is priority. It is my obligation to fulfill my current clients and not use gun tubers to basically promote this product. You guys that have invested in my company, it is my obligation and my priority to make sure you guys get what you paid for first, not the gun tubers. Oh, I know what's his name, Josh at Pursuit Accuracy. He's a good guy. What I like about Josh is that he is non-biased. I mean, we bump heads, we disagree in things, but that's the good thing. Being somewhat of a gun tuber myself, I can only base off of my experience and my shooting expertise. I'm not a pro shooter, but I'm not a slouch either. Like I said, I went to an NRL 22X match and I got 6th place. 48 people, 30 mile per hour winds. I'm able to put boots in the ground and shoot competitively at top level. If I practice more, obviously, I could probably get better. But I'm not a pro shooter. I've been a gun builder. But guys like Josh that go out there and shoot all the time, run a channel, are great feedback. He's definitely somebody that I'm going to consider sending an action when I have one available. Right now, we are focusing on fulfilling the orders, and those people are priority. When I get enough in my hand, we have a couple things. We have a lot going on. We have my personal rifle is going to be donated, like as a silent auction, and that's going to go towards a charity for a fellow client of ours that's having his 1-year-old son, just turned 1, Elijah, just go through a heart transplant, or basically a triple bypass. He has sepsis and really was suffering. But we always get back to the community. So my personal rifle is going up for a silent auction. We had a donated barreled action on the last match that Cyrus, which is Coppasar Precision, ended up not taking it and wanted to go for that donation as well. So we're donating that. And as far as production wise, you can see what I'm doing. This one has got done right now, so. Yeah, we're basically fulfilling all the orders we can. There's about 40, well, after the last batch, we have about 30 orders, 30 Remexes that are priority first. We have 48 of these actions going out and coming back from nitride. So we're going to be hammering down on these things, hopefully getting these things under your guys' Christmas tree by end of this year. And then the public having the public order is coming soon. I'm just trying to gauge how much I'm going to need to make. Yeah, that explains why Josh ain't getting his until the guys that have invested in our company over a year ago get theirs. It is my promise, is what I made. I like to honor whatever I promise, and I like to be a man of my word. Faith first is always what I say, and then If I said I'm going to do something, I always do it. So, all right, let's check out this action. This one got done. What are you doing now, Ryan? You just need to take the accessories off that motor. That thing's going to go straight in the trash.
I'm thinking, or I need to get it on the edge stand up.
Okay. Let me lock this up. Take this action out. Alright. So this is straight off the machine. You guys get to see exactly how it comes out. There's going to be burrs and all that in there. We're going to go through a tumbler system afterward. There we go. A quick polish. There it is. During the live chat, this one's all done. So, find my file here. So there'll be a few burrs that it's going to go through a tumbler. I got a ceramic ball tumbler that these actions get thrown into. But straight out of the machine, you can see the finish here. That's right off the machine. Okay. Tooling marks are very, very minimal. You guys are not even going to see that once the nitride coating is on. Any kind of tooling marks, or you're not going to see it. The pocket, that's probably the only tooling mark you're going to see. Very difficult geometry to get this done right in this pocket area here. So that's one of the only tooling marks you're going to see. But you compare that to other actions in the market, and you tell me you don't see a tooling mark on a high-end action. So just taking off all the little small burrs. And then we are going to test fit the bolt. So the trigger pins are traditional 1/8 inch pins. If you notice, I did relieve a lot of that. And that's so you guys get your punch in there on either side. The drill for the trigger pins gets changed out every 5 actions to keep the trigger pins nice and tight. Oh, they're a pretty affordable bit, carbide 1/8 inch bit, made by Kennametal. But I change them out to keep the tolerances good. Everything else, as far as like the action screws, the little things like that, I tap those by hand. Well, not really by hand. It's a mechanical arm. I forgot what it's called, but it's an arm that you drag over, and you can tap it. It keeps the tap nice and straight. All right. So fresh off the machine. Here's the test fitment. This has all the same tolerances of anybody's bolt, but basically a regular bolt assembly. Want to make sure a couple burrs here and there. Work it in and out. Make sure there's no issues. There's a small little burr. Let me get that out real quick. Okay. Small little burr. Oh, there we go. So I'll go through a whole tumbling process. Yeah, that feels pretty damn good. All right. Yeah, you can see already starting to smooth out. So I'm gonna go. What I basically do is I take the bolt assembly. It's got JB bore paste in it. Work it into the action. But you can already see it's already pretty smooth. So little burrs in there. They're gonna be inside here. They got a undercut inside the action. You guys can see that in there. That's where the locky lug goes in. There's a couple burrs in there that obviously got to be polished out. But straight out of the machine, we'll put another slug in. All right. Public ordering is the end of this week there. Saturday is when we plan on having the public. So here's another slug. This is turned on the OD. The threads are already machined. The bolt raceway is wire EDM cut. And these are thrown onto my little extension here. We're going to load another one here. So again, this machine runs all night, just hammering these things out. We'll bring our sub spindle up. T10, M110, G55. All right. Let the machine grab it. I'm not inducing any errors. Everything is oriented correctly. I want to be right at B axis 0. Okay. And I'm right in front of that. I'm going to come in 1 inch manually. Let's see. Grab this thing at 1 inch. There we go. Close down this chuck. Open up that. Alright. And what I like to do is make sure my chuck is nice and there we go. There we go. Perfect. Alright. Reference this. Reference the chucks, okay. And we're going to set this one up for the first operation again. Move this in 6 inches, -6. Almost there. Boom. Okay. All right. And now we're going to touch up all the tools before we start this new fresh one. So I got a little mini program here. What I like to do is touch off the tip of my part here, right in the face. Tell the machine this is where I wanted to start. So T101, G54 is what we're going to use. Start. There we go. And we are going to manually touch this off. What I want to hear is a little scrape. I hear a little scrape that I know I'm in the front of my part. Almost there. Right there. You can see a little bit cutting. All right, so told my machine that's where I want my machine to start. Set the offset. Originally 9.912. As the machine heats up, things start moving. That's the reason why we're doing all of this. So we just got done another action body. It probably heated up another 5 degrees. But look, from the last action to this action, it's 3 thousandths. This is what I'm talking about, tolerance stacking. So it was at 9.912. This action body is 9.915. So things shifted a little bit, and this is why you got to pay attention to that. We'll do the same thing, add 5.0 for the next. Get rid of this, and we should be good to go. So, all right. You can see that the action body and the ID are running true on center. There's less than half a thou there. Load up op 1. And this one is ready to rock. So we're turning the coolant off. And first thing we're going to do is cut on this action. We're cutting the bolt raceway for the locking lug. It's going to require a lot of coolant. Sends it all in there. So we'll let that. That's going to basically start cutting another action. So, and I think we were at 2 hours or an hour and a half live chat. Got 6 actions done over the weekend. I did 4 today, did 2. Should be number 3. This will be done probably first thing in the morning. So we're knocking them out. After this, swapping over, doing bolt assemblies, sending those out tonight. While these get sent out to nitride coating, bolt assemblies will be getting done. These come back from nitride, bolt assemblies get sent out, and then the process continues. At the end of the 3rd week, it's just nothing but assembling everything together, hand fitting everything together, and then the 4th week is all barrel work, doing barrels. All right. Yep. What's up, Rick? Rick Nuts in the house. Public. Yeah. These actions are beefy, man. So they're actually. It looks pretty heavy. It looks like one of the heaviest actions in the market. This is actually lighter than a Rimax. It's slightly lighter than a Voodoo. It's about the same as a Voodoo. A lot of it's because all of this material like this hogged it out. In 17.4 stainless, this is 17.4 stainless. This is a very heavy material. It's a very dense stainless steel. So, and I hogged most of it out. And the ejection port has this little relief on here. And honestly, that's so I could have the 17 HMR round. If you want to eject the live round, it will go through there. That's mostly why the relief is there. It's also so the barrel, if you ever have a malfunction, you'll be able to get your pick and screwdriver up in there and remove your live round or whatever. It uses the Voodoo extractor system. So personally, those extractors I haven't seen fail or have an issue out there in the field. So, but it's there. We have the program set up for right hand right now, but as you guys could tell, we're doing half the body, action body at a time. So what that means, what that's going to allow me to do is swap it from a left hand. So I have a left-handed action program that'll make this a left hand. And then if we keep the ejection port right-handed, then you'll have a left hand configuration, right port. Same thing. So the second operation does all of this. I have a program for the left hand side of it. So we will be offering a right hand left port configuration for you guys that want to be able to kind of somewhat do like the bench rest style, where you're right-handed, but you can see down your ejection port. It's kind of a high requested, one of the high requested items that people wanted to see in this action. So that's not hard to do. We will be implementing those, except right now what I'm trying to do is focus on the majority of the orders right now are right hand, right port, the basic configuration. What do we have here? Any other questions? Let's see. See if I missed any questions here. What's up? Oh, Cyclops Joe in the house. I didn't see him. He jumped on. I did see Cyclops Joe. Thanks for joining, brother. It's probably late there. It's probably late everywhere. All right. Preferred trigger. I personally like the Bix and Andy triggers. So I run the Bix and Andy Tac Sport Pro. Actually, let me go grab it. So the Bix and Andy triggers, they work really well. They fit great. I don't have a sear problem on my action. So if you guys are wondering if you want to run a Bix and Andy, just get yourself a Bix and Andy. I personally like the Tac Sport X, Pro X. That's what I run. And I prefer the curved shoe. I'm not, I've been playing around with a flat shoe, but I like the curve for me. There's no, you don't have to worry about the sear height. Just order a Bix and Andy with a medium sear. That's going to run really well. Trigger techs, no problem. This runs a trigger tech without an issue. The pickiest trigger in the market are the Bix and Andys. It's what I've noticed. Well, not necessarily the trigger itself. It's the action manufacturers not following traditional 700 sear geometry. And what I mean by that is the pocket that they make their sear, their trigger, is either too shallow or too deep in conjunction with their sear block. The sear blocks are protruding too much, which is not allowing the sear, trigger sear, which is this piece right here, this bar, is pushing down on it, not allowing it to reset. So my action doesn't have that problem because I'm following a traditional 700 trigger sear engagement. So this is what I prefer. This is the trigger of my choice. Very crisp. It's a serviceable trigger too. Bix and Andy wants you to take this apart and clean it, and they have videos and tutorials about that. Unlike the other trigger manufacturers, which, like again, what I was talking about earlier, when you're cleaning your rifle, you somehow get solvent down in here, like the Vortex products, or you get the Hoppies products. It will gel up inside of here. You'll have a trigger seize up on you. Ask me how I know. I've learned that through experience over the years, improperly cleaning my rifles and letting the gunk and all that flow down into your trigger assembly. Being able to service a trigger is a huge benefit in my opinion. So I can take this apart, make sure everything is nice and shiny and mirror finish in there, clean it with acetone, clean it with lighter fluid, throw everything back together, put grease where grease is needed, put the trigger back into the action, and good to go. So if this is a competition rifle, it's anything that could come loose, or you could take apart in your rifle. You need to check it. It's a maintenance item. Check every screw. While it's on fire. Yeah, I know, brother. Trust me, man. I'm asking you guys to give me the time. Like we're really going to be investing. I'm not making a profit on this, guys. I'll be honest. Anything that I'm making off of this action, it's all going back towards buying another machine to fulfill orders. So we are trying to establish a name in the industry here and showcase what we could do. Get the best machinery in the market. Utilize aerospace technology, aerospace machining, my experience in machining and manufacturing, and give you guys the best possible product in the market. We'll look into other aspects. Like I'm really contemplating a titanium version of this action, and that's specifically for guys that are in silhouette shooting, shooting silhouette, a small bore silhouette, keeping the weight down. This is about, I'd say, 1.5 pounds action with the bolt assembly all put together. If I could reduce it to just under 1 pound, or 10 ounces on an action, all of that weight could be towards a barrel. So I could offset the balance. I mean, that's probably another benefit of PRS shooters. If I offer this in a lighter version like titanium, then we could take the weight of the action. That's 1 pound removed from the action, put it towards the barrel, further balance out the rifle. So that's something I'm looking into. And I actually made this action out of 7075 aluminum with a steel insert. I actually had a metal insert in here, and that was another. I mean, that's another avenue that I looked into, making an action out of aluminum with a steel insert, keeping the weight down. That also keeps the cost down. If I do that, I can make this action in about 2 hours. So that's another benefit. So I mean, I know bat actions. They made an F-class action called the Panda out of aluminum. So for center fire, if they're able to make an aluminum action, I don't see why we can't make it out of rim fire. The rim fire, you're looking at a heavy wear and tear. So if I could keep certain parts out of steel, your wear and tear items, like put in like a steel core inside of here, right? That's for your bolt raceway, and perhaps put steel rods that your bolt locks down into. Anything that's wear and tear, extra body out of aluminum. That was something that I was contemplating. If that's something you guys want to see, I mean, that will further drive the cost down. I could probably be able to make this action, a barreled action, that way, and provide it for like 600, 700 bucks. So it'll be about half the cost of this action. What you're really paying for, guys, like I'm being straightforward. You're paying for the steel. The steel is very expensive. Like, I didn't skimp out at all. 17.4 stainless, condition A, heat treating that, 4340 stainless steel, S7. Those are all really high grade metal, and that's what's contributing to the cost of this action. Machine time, obviously, you guys are seeing it. It's 4 hours for an action body, about eight hours total. But I'm trying to give you guys the best quality so you can see right out of the machine. That looks like tooling marks, but that is flat. It's a mirror finish, or almost a mirror finish. Scratch my fingernail, you don't even feel anything. So that's what I really wanted to showcase. You know, made in America, how it should be back in the day. American made, small business manufacturing. This is what America was built on, guys. Small shops like us, starting, making a good product, taking their expertise and just excelling with it, and producing high-end products like this. So here's another little project. This is a control bridge, 3D printed, for the ACC Elite I've been playing with. I don't know, is this something you guys want? I mean, this is made out of ASA plastic. This is actually what I personally run, and these are pretty expensive. They're like 120 bucks, but you just need something to cover the barrel. 22s don't get hot, as far as I know, unless you're shooting full auto for like 20 minutes straight. This is a control bridge. What I was thought about doing was making these. These are made out of ASA, and then Cerakoting them. We could add a Cerakote on top of this, so it'll actually feel like aluminum. To be honest, I'll have that nice aluminum feel, but be budget friendly. Let's see, WT wire you use on the EDM. Oh, it's we use Galvatech. It's like a 16 thousandths wire. Yeah, it's a galvanized copper wire. It's pretty good stuff. So the 16 thou, it just allows us to really burn through. For like the extractors and stuff that we make, we go with a 8 thou, 7 or 8 thou Galvatech wire EDM. What the hell is it called? Let me give you the exact. It's some good stuff, man. Titan and CNC use it too. Yeah, it's like molybdenum. It has molybdenum. I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's what's in there. It's expensive. We're talking a spool is like 230 bucks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mega. Yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah, 25 thou or 0.25 millimeter. Yeah, we're. Oh yeah, that's at 16. Yeah, we're 16 millimeter. My bad. Not 16 thou. 0.16 millimeter is what we have. And yeah, we're looking into a Sodic wire EDM right now, a brand new one. So we got an old Mitsubishi one right now it's doing its job, but it can't do all the new techniques, you know, the offset, Z offset, angle cutting and all that. It can't do that. So we're looking at a Sodic, $160,000 machine, but you know, the more we can keep it in-house, the better it is. We're just using a family friend of ours right now, that we send these barrel slugs out, and he EDMs them, sends it back to me. But shipping costs is no joke. I mean, you start sending stuff like that, 48 pounds, 100 pounds, it gets pricey. I don't sleep, Rick. This is what I'm doing, brother. I work late at night. It gets me out of the phone calls. During the day, we'll get like astronomical phone calls. So if you guys actually called our shop recently, you probably have came across our new phone service. We got a phone call line that, you know, it's kind of helping keep a lot of the spam calls down, and people that are asking questions. You'll be surprised. We get a lot of calls for like, and not to be disrespectful, for things that are just irrelevant to our business and what we do. I get people that call asking me where they could go shooting. Okay, like you're in Arizona, go look up a BLM land, go find a BLM land and go shoot. You have a backstop. I mean, that's the honest truth here in Free State. But we get calls all the time for stuff like that. Guys that want to just shoot the ship and basically ask questions about how to clean their rifle. I mean, it really defeats the purpose of YouTube and then the videos that I put out. So having to individually explain every single time how to do something, and when I have a whole video series on it or something like that, it does get frustrating, and it's out of no disrespect. It's just I'm at limited time. You know, that's why the boss keeps me off the phone, keeps me behind the machine. This is what I need to be doing: manning the machine, getting behind the computer, programming these parts, coming up, putting my ideas that I have in my head onto the machine. That's what I need to be doing. That way you guys get some good quality products. Questions that are technical and stuff, it's best if you guys email me. Send an email to our website. I see them, and then like during this time, like when I'm working like this and I got downtime, whatever downtime I have, I look at my emails. I'm on my phone, just answering emails, answering any technical questions. So during the day, we get flooded with a bunch of calls. It's got to the point to where it's got really overwhelming with me and my wife working. We're on that phone 6+ hours a day, and we love talking to you guys. It's just we have to work. we got to provide what we promised. So we have a phone service now, kind of weeding out a lot of those. And people that have legitimate questions, you press option 2. It sends it to us. Leave a voicemail, and we'll call you back. That, or shoot us an email, and I'll definitely get back to you. Any questions regarding like things that are not relevant to our business, as far as like like what we offer and stuff. Like if you got questions, general questions like how to clean things, what I recommend. Like honestly, drop a comment on my YouTube channel, any of my videos. I see them. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'll go through the end of the day. Be a list of comments that I'm just answering questions, and I'll comment there. If anything, like I said, shoot me an email. It's kind of the best way for me to answer stuff. yeah, the wife's the boss, so she's a hell of a lot nicer than me on the phone. I'll even tell her how it is. If someone asks me questions like, "What do you think about tuners?" I'm like, "Well, what are you doing? Are you just bench rest shooting, or you're plinking? Want the best accuracy? Are you a PRS shooter?" A lot of the times I got guys that are like, "I'm just a PRS shooter. I want to go out and shoot a PRS match, and I want to see if a tuner is going to help me." A tuner is just another variable. So I always stray away guys that are not familiar with the tuner, first of all, if you don't know how a tuner really works, and know that pretty much everything affects the tuner, like weather changes, 5 degrees, that affects it, density, altitude, you move around to a different state, that affects it. If you have the money and the time, which most PRS matches don't give you enough time to do that, and have enough ammo to tune, then go for it. But in my opinion, for PRS, it's not needed. We can squeeze out accuracy a lot of different ways and keep that variable out of your mind. A lot of the points when you're shooting PRS, it's all mindset. It's how you approach that stage. It's how you prepare. And when you're shooting that stage and you miss, are you going to question, is that my bad shot placement? Is that my tuner? Was that miss because of my tuner setting? I mean, that's the question we want to get you out of your head. So my goal is to eliminate variables, give you guys the best possible tool. Like our rifles are a tool that is not going to be the limiting factor to producing those last few points. Like, if you guys are considering purchasing one of our rifles, it's for guys, I really want to emphasize, guys that are getting to the point where their shooting capability is limited because of their tool. The last few points that they can't accomplish because of a failure to feed, or something that ever happened of their system is induced because of their tool failed on them. These tools, if you factor in the cost, and I said this on my last live chat, if I was to travel to a NRL 22X match across the nation, the cost of a plane ticket is like $1,000. Hotel fee, another $1,000. Food and gas and all of that. Your ammo, your time, match fees. You're looking at close to a $2,200 weekend, $2,500 weekend. That is nearly the same cost as a custom rifle. So when you're shooting at that kind of level, when you're capable of shooting top 15 and higher, right, you get to that point where you're consistently upper level. The tool is what separates that top 10 shooter to a top 3 shooter, right? These points are separated with the guys that win these matches, 1 or 2 points within each other, sometimes a tiebreaker. So you get to that point where you shoot at that level, you get a system that doesn't fail on you. You want to focus on the reliability. Reliability, I can't stress that enough. So many times have I seen really good shooters, guys that know what they're doing, had the match in the bag, get it thrown away because of a jam, because they had a fail to feed issue, or they had a mental mistake. Miscounted a mag. Those fractions of a second, those seconds you waste on the stage, fumbling, trying to get rid of a malfunction, puts your mindset off, gets you out of your mindset, throws you off your game, wastes time, starts making you rush, start missing your shots. So the whole focus of this action that I built was built around my experience over the last 8 years building competition 22s. Something that I've seen a lot of issues that I personally have fixed in the field, I've made fixes for, like the Rim-X itself. The Rim-X, as big as Achilles' heel, is that stationary extractor. Such a crap system for competition. It's a good action. It has a big Achilles' heel. It is not when it's going to fail on you, or not if it's going to fail on you, it's when. And usually that happens on a big ass match. It's happened to me countless times, and that's why I developed the DPX mod, where I took that stationary extractor, got rid of it, put a traditional CZ extractor. That way you don't have the Jam X issue. So things like that you shouldn't be dealing with when you're spending this kind of money, when you're relying on your tool being $3,000 and you spend $2,200 on a weekend traveling, attending a match for an issue to fail. So this is what I'm hoping to achieve, is to create a product that gets rid of that, where you guys, all you have to do is focus on your shooting game. Focus on how to approach that stage, not worry about a mag jam issue, and accomplish your course of fire. So when people call me and they ask me my opinions and stuff, I mean, that's how I talk. People get offended. I'm not here to offend. I'm here to give you the truth. Our time is very valuable, both me and yours. So if you guys are wanting real honest truth, there's not a lot of time that I have, nor do you guys either. I'm gonna give it to you straightforward. After the Rimex debacle, I've been the only person that pretty much brought it out the light, man. You know, it's just like voodoo. Like 3 years ago, if you guys were following my channel, I did a whole video series back when Paul and Jill were owning voodoo. I only scratched the surface of the crap that was happening. And people were trying to say I was bashing voodoo back then. I shed light and I shared exactly what was happening to many folks that still have this issue today. Was headspace problems on the voodoo action. They were buying these voodoo barreled actions, and voodoo was outsourcing everything. I kind of knew that. I knew they were outsourcing, but I didn't know at the kind of level they were outsourcing at. Not to mention all the customer service. When we were getting emails after email, we're talking dozens of emails an hour. Guys having issues with their voodoo, asking me if I could fix it. And this is back when I was working out of a shed, out of a manual lathe. I was like, okay. I had 16 actions at the time come in. So shit, man. Every single one of these actions are headspace over a no-go. I mean, a no-go gauge was locking down. Every one of these actions. So come to find out, Voodoo was outsourcing all their crap, all their barrel work, and they changed the torque spec. They weren't torquing the barrels down correctly. That few, let's say 10 pounds of torque difference, there's a difference between 4,000 or 5,000 on headspace. So I shed light on that. A few folks, I'm going to say just a very small amount, but these very small amount of people went on the forums, try to say I was bashing Voodoo and all that. But it goes to show, with the crap that happened with Voodoo, it proved my point. Where are they now? We have a lot of people out there that have Voodoo orders that haven't been fulfilled. They were outsourcing all of that, and this is just, I mean, I can't really get into all the details. There's so much, but there's thousands, and I'm talking millions of dollars worth of money that wasn't paid, contracted out. How are they going to recover on that? I don't know. I really hope they do, to be honest, because they are a big, they're a big hitter in the community. But how they operated, how Paul operated that company, and I said it before, and I said it to his face in SHOT Show, that he operates that company like shit, and it proves my point, because look what happened. So, but people will take that as bashing. All I did was share truth, shed light. Same thing with the RMX. People try to say I was making it all up. You know, somebody that has over $100,000 worth of their product sitting on the shelf that I could not move, at a point where 30 some actions were having this issue. People were trying to say I was making it up. I even have a video, and I never released it, where I went to SHOT Show, bought a brand new action from Alta Shooting Supply, handed it right to Ray. I said, Ray, if you're saying it's how we build the rifles and how we operate the action, I want you to open up this action. I want you to manipulate this action and show me what I'm doing wrong. I mean, I was open. I was like, hey, if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. He opened it up. First 3 cycles, boom, gouged. I says, well, it gouged in your hands, brand new. Is this my problem or is this Zermatt's problem? And that's where we ended the story right there. So, was there an issue with Zermatt? Absolutely. Anybody wants to say otherwise? Kiss my ass, because you can go look at the forums on Sniper's Hide. You can see the dozens of people, the hundreds of people after shedding light to this situation, the hundreds of people that came out that went on the forums and shared their experience, the exact same experience I had. I had dozens of shops call me that shared their experience. The problem is no one wanted to take accountability. Everybody that was in this industry to build these rifles stuck their damn heads in the sand because they were too worried about their profit. They're too worried about losing clients. They're too worried about losing their rifle builds because of this problem. So instead of getting out and holding the manufacturer to the higher standard to having them fix this problem, they kept their mouth quiet. What folks don't realize is that I spent, prior to even me coming out with this video, there was 10 months back and forth with me and Zermatt. or me, Ashley, me and the boss here, talking to Zermatt to fix this problem 10 months prior, going back and forth, trying to get it fixed. Got bolt replacements and all that. What they didn't know is the education and my experience behind manufacturing. I work with the same metal suppliers they do. My family has been for 70 years. So we worked with Nigeria Steel, and when we found out that they changed the material, I looked it up and I talked to my metal application guy and said, hey, this is the material they're using. Automatically he looks it up, he's like, why are they using that material? This is not even on the HRC scale, this is on the B scale. The same scale aluminum and brass are measured. Why are they using such a soft material? And boom, that's where everything clicked. Too soft a material. So, never made it up. That problem got resolved, and the reason why it got resolved, because I said something. I said something last year, around this time, around November. Brought it up to the community, held them accountable, went on the forums. I ended up being the bad guy. But after coming out, within 3 weeks, you guys had a resolution. I never took credit for that, nor did I ever want to take credit for that. But you guys had a resolution with 3 weeks after I said a video. So, what that has encouraged me to do is build this. Because of that situation, this is why this is coming out right here. And this is what's going to set the bar. Yeah, people are going to defend companies no matter what. I mean, I respect that. I don't care. I got thick skin. You guys can say I'm BS, but truth's the truth. Show me where I lied. Show me where I made anything up. Because if I made anything up, I lied about it, or if any untrue facts, I have no problem. Humble enough to say, okay, you're correct. Do a redaction video, talk about it. But everything that I mentioned about what happened, it was true. Did they change the material? Yeah, they did. Didn't tell anybody. They went to a softer ass material, and they think DLC coating was going to fix it. So they sent us, you know, after our clients were getting to the 10-month mark, calling us. This is how it all started. I couldn't sit behind the curtain, in the head in the sand like all these other gun builders, and say, I don't know. I could have just built the rifle and sent it out just like that. Well, what does that say about me and my business, and my craft? That I don't care about you guys if I allow that to happen. And there's hundreds of these rifles that went out like that with other people, other gun manufacturers that knew about this problem, that decided to not take accountability and make it right. They built these rifles, left their shop, got it in the hands of some of the shooters out there, and now these shooters are wondering why the rifles weren't functioning well, having accuracy issues, having head spacing problems. We had 12 of these rifles, and that's me included. I had 12 of these rifles leave my shop. 12. I had 11 come back. All 11. Almost all 12. 11 came back. Out of those 11, they all had a headspace over 50,000s. They left my shop at a perfect headspace within about 5,000 rounds, all over headspace. They came back because they were having issues with field of fire and accuracy. So imagine if I would have let 56 of those rifles leave my shop. I had to deal with 12. That was freaking tough. You know, we had a hard time. We had a lot of cancellations, a lot of chargebacks. But the main thing is, I said I did the right thing. I feel like I did the right thing. I told you guys what was wrong. I showed you guys what was wrong. I ain't allowed to leave my shop as most as I can. I try to control that. Try to control my own quality best I can. What it's allowed me to do, what it's motivated me to do, is build this action. And I built this action after all that within 6 months. From idea to in my hands, I had a working action. Imagine if I had 2 years like some of these other manufacturers. What would 2 years of me sitting down, brainstorming, and having a field of engineers, what would this product look like afterward? So I think I did a pretty good job within 6 months, in my opinion, getting something that's working pretty damn good. I'll be honest, I'm really happy with this thing. So you guys will see it. CZ extractors. Yeah, they're in the shop right now. Like we had a whole batch. Actually, I'll show you. When we get our actions all wire EDM, I order these S7 tool steel plates to get wire EDMs as well. So we just got our batch of CZ extractors. These are in the raw S7 tool steel form, precision wire EDM cut. I specifically hand grind every single one of these. So they get hand ground and tested. I put them on a CZ457 action that I have here. So it takes a little bit of time. This material, like I said, isn't cheap. You guys can look up S7 tool steel, and once you find out the cost of that specific material, I want you guys to look up what it costs to surface grind S7 tool steel, and you'll see why the cost of our extractors are what they are. You're getting a high quality steel that works. This material itself specifically bites in the brass. That's why we call it a Talon extractor. It doesn't just grip around the cartridge, it actually bites into the 22 rimfire case. That's why it extracts a live round, and why it's the only aftermarket extractor for the CZ457 that actually works. Now, these were designed because of our CZ457 builds. I use a very tight chamber in my my custom CZ builds. The factory extractors just weren't cutting it, and with CZ USA taking over production, the quality has went downhill. I mean, significantly downhill. CZ Actions, I'm having to turn away quite a bit. I'll order 30 and I gotta return 10. So yeah, these came in. We got a whole batch of CZ extractors. They're on our website right now. I'm grinding them little by little here and there, and then they get blued, parkerized, blued, just to get rust protection. We've been looking at a way to provide the Talon extractor with a new tensioner. I redesigned the tensioner. Guys that had our original kits were installing the tensioner along with a Talon extractor right away, and that was causing guys that had like aftermarket pre-fit barrels like the L3i, they're having a really hard lockdown pressure. Some of the L3i barrels, the previous pre-wasp chambers, the extractor cuts weren't done correctly. They were at a 45 degree, and having our extractors installed was causing it to start eating away at the chamber wall. So we had a notation on the back of the card to not install those, but people just weren't reading. They weren't reading the back of the card, so we changed it to where the Talon extractor is included with a tensioner spring. That spring is to compensate to stretch the C-clip or worn out C-clips. And then I did redesign our tensioner system that doesn't bite, doesn't have a lot of, it's not biting in too much, a little smoother. So we have those on the website right now. What's up, Hesaw? Yeah, Uncle Jim. I don't know. Yeah, this is our relaxation. He's all shy. Look at Chicken Hawk's all shy now. There you go, Jim. Dude's tall. Look how tall he is. I'm 6'1". Dude's taller than I am. Skinnier than I am too. I was like that too. He used to call me Shaggy. Wait till you get 30, boy. What are you doing? Just taking apart the whole engine? You better get a bin for all this.
What parts we need to keep so I can build it?
Well, I mean, a lot of this, nothing, yeah, everything worked. That water pump, even though it looks like crap, that's actually brand new. Alternator, that's a 100 amp alternator. You better keep that. So, and then I got the 1.6 rockers in this thing.
What else did you take off?
Are you taking the heads off? Well, you got to take the manifold off first. What are you doing?
Oh, does it fly out?
No, dude, the manifold comes out first. Why are you taking off the heads without the manifold? Oh my gosh. Anyways, yeah, this is a fun little project for us. Get our good old square body up and running. Yeah, we blew the engine because the oil line came off. Driving back from the damn range, all the off-roading, the whole oil line popped off, and I got a Melling high flow oil pump in this thing, and it pumped out 6 liters in like 2 seconds. And by the time I noticed the red light in my dash, it was too late. This whole motor is seized up. This sucker is locked up. We even have we got the what do you call it, bearing caps off. So we don't know what's seized up on this thing other than completely stopped. You take off the distributor first. You have to teach them how to take apart a small block. Right here, take this off. Take the distributor off. You're trying to take. How are you going to take the damn manifold off without the distributor? Oh, kids. At least it's not on the computer. Oh. Yeah, we're upgrading, Uncle Jim. 402 small block, 383, 402 cubic inch. So 2 hours here. I'll go another 5 minutes. Oh, he already has, man. I caught his ass drifting my damn side-by-side. Oh. Alright. YouTube. You know what's funny? How come I can show all this machining, and when I showed a damn video on a live stream, I got shut down with me shooting, even though it said previously recorded. But I can do this. This is fine according to YouTube. I can show machining. Those push rods, dude. Did you loosen this?
No. This is the one that always came loose, remember? You lose this one.
Was this loose like this?
Dude, the transmission bolts are loose. I didn't need to get a wrench to do it.
Why is this one like this?
He's come out with the push rod.
Oh yeah, you already had the head loose, that's why. You're supposed to take the push rods out first. Oh gosh, noob. Oh yeah. Some damage there. Yeah, screw YouTube. All right, let's check out the pistons. Woo! Yeah, these are overboard, but they don't look bad. We need to find out what the hell seized up on us.
Yeah.
Oh, piston walls look pretty damn good. 60,000 miles.
Well, you haven't took off the other head yet.
Yeah, take this other head off. All right. Well, this side looks all right. Well, we know we spun a bearing, the front bearing, which is usually it's pretty common on a small block Chevy. That's
upside down.
Yeah, it's completely turned up sideways. So we spun a bearing for sure.
Oh,
So, dude, that distributor looks like crap. Oh yeah, I got eaten up. Look at that. That cam's done.
maybe the cam sees.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe well, the cam sees, you'll still be able to turn the motor.
Oh, the timing cam.
Oh yeah. Well, take the head off. And then we're gonna have to pressure wash this thing. This thing looks like a bunch of schmegma all over this thing.
There's Noah, man.
I don't know. Gosh. Luckily we got the room in here for it. For now. Alright. Dad's hovering, yep. Yeah, we got a We're gonna put a 3800 stall in this thing. The transmission's already built. It's got the is it TH80? What the hell is it? 85? I always forgot the name of it. It's not the 60E. It's the 80E. So we got the 80E installed. That's been rebuilt. So I had this thing built, brand new Sun gears, planetary set, upgraded clutch packs, high flow torque converter pump. I mean, that transmission is rated for like 500 horsepower. So we slap on the 383 stroker. We're converting this thing. It's going to be completely carbureted. We're not even going to mess with any of this crap anymore. All of that's going to be cut out. We're going to go straight up carbureted. We might play with nitrous. I don't know. But we just want something that, if we need the power, this thing's got a really good 4x4 system, despite its issues with the thermal solenoid. This has got a it's geared down to 410s. We got 410s both front and rear. I mean, it's a good truck, man. They don't make them like they used to. I mean, look how big this frame is. See? You go to the damn Chevy dealership nowadays, go look at your Chevy Silverado and tell me what on the frame is over an inch. Not much. Everything's made out of Chinesium metal and aluminum. This old square body right here, they don't make them like they used to, man. This is good old solid steel right here. All right. What are we running now on the part? Let's see. Okay. Just profiling the tang here. That's where we're at. You can see the chips flying. This is my favorite part right here. Watching those chips fly. There we go. Good old slivers. Yeah. So downside to a milling high oil pump is that you'll drain all the oil out of the factory oil pan in about 3 seconds. Yeah, the 4L80E. There we go. Thanks, Rick. That's what it was. Yeah, we used to have the 4L60. We basically converted this truck to a 2500. It's got the 2500 axle on the rear. 4L80 transmission. I mean, the axle's huge. Custom carbon drive shaft. This truck, surprisingly, as old as it is and how junky it looks, is pretty beefed up. Yeah, the 4L80, we took all the solenoids out. We put Corvette servo in there. I mean, I forgot what else I did to that thing. I know I spent like at least $2,000 on a rebuild kit doing it myself. So it's gonna be nice having our truck back. We miss our little range truck. Going out there and being able to sit in the back of the truck bed and shoot. What's back of the bed? That's what the machine came in, Jim. Roswell, yeah, our CNC machine. This was wrapped in this stuff. Yeah, core supports right here. But yeah, I don't know what the hell. Our CNC machine was wrapped in this. That was crazy. And that was crazy. That was a butt pucker factor 15 out of 10. Driving that telehandler and getting it in here to get this machine in. This thing weighs 5,200 pounds. It's pretty heavy. It's not as heavy as that new DNX that's coming in. That's 12,000 pounds. This right here is about 9,000 pounds. That's a 9,000 pound machine. So that's like half of it. DNX is going to go right here. That's going to be, that's 12,000, or that's 18,000 pounds or 12,000 pounds. So. All right, Rick, I appreciate it, brother. We're probably gonna cut off soon. I wanted to go live to see if anybody had questions. I mean, obviously, it was a pretty big day for us today to start offering it. We got actions coming back from Nitride, so that's why we decided to release it. I'm happy where it's at. Everything's finalized. All the parts are being made here. So we're just gonna be shipping these things out, and we gave you guys the first opportunity, like we promised. Previous DPG clients to get a hold of our action. So we're excited. They're rolling out in the field. You guys are going to start seeing this in the field very, very soon, and hopefully dominating, kicking ass out there. There's some of the guys that we sold these actions to. I recognize their names because I've seen them in the PRS field, the PRS logs. So we got some pretty high-end shooters that are getting a hold of these. But yeah, is there any other questions? We'll probably wrap this up in about 5 minutes. Throw your questions below. I'm going to scroll up the chat and see if I see anything. If you guys like this kind of content, like if you guys like just shooting the ship here, working with me late at night, let me know. As long as YouTube allows me, we could do this. We could have live chats like this, where I can answer any of your guys' questions as I'm working. Start going through basically, what I do here. And I don't know. I like being transparent and showing what I do. Here's one of the actions right here. One of the first ones. So the logo is going to be different. This is one of the. What is this? Serial number 3. Yeah, this is serial number 3. I came back from one of the pro shooters. This is what I do here too. Sit down here and get the next part on machine. So we are making.
Right down inside the head or the.
What?
What the heck?
That was inside the head?
Yeah.
A blue moon cap?
Oh wow.
Dude, what the heck?
Ugh.
Ugh. All right. So this is our recoil lug, adjustable lug. I'm gonna use our new CNC machine to make it. So show you guys what I got going on here. I'm using Fusion 360, but this is the adjustable lug to show you kind of the difference here. Hold on. Let's see. If I measure from here to here, you can see let's say that's 0.272. 8, right? And then the other side 2.756. So and that's really not super accurate, but you can tell there's a 3,000 difference. So reversible lug and little 1-inch puck. This is what I'm doing to program in the machine, the new machine here. To simulate what's going to happen here. Come down with our little facing tool, faces off the material, and 6mm end mill. So to come in, start roughing these parts out. Oh yeah, Will. I appreciate that, Will. You're gonna be one of the first ones out there, man, with that left hand right port. It's not hard to do, man. I don't understand why you lefties get discriminated on. Like, here's our action, and it's really not freaking hard. So here's, if I go on here, right, here's the action we're making. Right hand, right? Well, here's the left hander right here. See? There's your lefty. Right? So I already got this all programmed. What's nice is that I separated the operation. So the back half will get done all left-handed. And then when I move on to what I'm doing right now, the ejection port will be right-handed. And I could do that either side, left and right. So that's not hard to do. But yep, lefties are coming. Everything is done. Done did. Just need to make it. So we're just busting out. The majority, obviously, of people are right-handed. But as you can tell, from design to in my hand, you know, I mess up. I mean, this is some of the first ones. I got a whole pile of these things where I was messing up. But yep, we're programming the adjustable lug next on the new machine. So let me see where I'm at. Yep. Anything blue is material that needs to be cut away. All right. So all I gotta do next is contour. Select this. All right. Cool. All right. If you guys, yeah, thanks, Nikolai. If you guys like this, I mean, it's kind of an improv chat. Oh, the cylinder's fine? We'll see if you can spin it, dude. See what the hell locked up. So, yeah, if you like these live chats where they're just kind of improv, we could have these live chats as long as YouTube allows us, and talk about anything, basically 22. Yes, I prototype. Well, yes and no. I use Delrin a lot. I mean, honestly, Delrin's a really good material, and I rapid prototype using the 3D printer. So I actually had, like, one of my first actions that was able to fire around was 3D printed. So I was able to 3D printing is really innovative because you don't have to program any of your toolpaths. You can just literally design and print and see if it functions and use that to test fit anything without wasting material. So before I even started machining these things out of metal, I really 3D printed a lot of the parts. And then what you don't learn with the actual metal is your speeds and feeds. Every machine, like, you know, I always say everybody's a machine ninja in certain ways. Like I actually learned to turn mill, operate my turn mill, a lot more proficient, a lot better than what most people are capable of doing. Simply because that's the only machine that I had. So I really expanded the capabilities of that machine. Where, like I was talking about earlier, eccentric turning, converting the machine to a Swiss lathe, doing really fine parts. I don't have them here, but okay. So, like, for instance, these bolt stops, that was made on my turn mill, and this is a part that should be made on a vertical mill, like the new one I just got. But this was made on the turn mill. These are parts that shouldn't be made on the turn mill, but I was able to do it and do it very efficiently. So to have it to where they run all night. These bunch of springs. Let's see. Firing pin caps that I made. Noni, give me that trigger shoe. Give me the trigger shoe. Right there. Give me one of the trigger shoes. So this is something that's new. If you guys have seen this, these are the CZ PMT triggers. This is all made on the turn mill, all in one operation. And the cool thing about this is a part that it does take an hour to make. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's a hell of a lot more proficient on a better turn mill, a more rigid turn mill like an SMX, or better yet, a vertical mill. But here's the thing. So it's made like this. So it's on a round bar, made out of a round bar, 1.5 inch. In fact, I think I got the program here. I can even show you. But the thing about a turn mill is that you could treat it like a 4-axis machine. It'll mill out, do all the milling procedures on one side, do the drilling procedures on one side, turn around, do the other side, turn around, and do the front side. So I have this drill hole that I got to do. It's an M3 screw. And then I have this little pocket up here. So on a turn mill, that's ideal. The turn mill is ideal for making a part like this. But you got to think about when you start getting to the rear, how do you remove this part? How do you make this profile in the back? So you start looking at tabbing. Tabbing is a whole different approach. So you basically contour all of this part, and at the end there's a small little tab that at the end my parting tool will come in, tool catcher will capture it, and there's a little small like plate, like a stand, and you break it off. And then after that you hand file. So a little bit post processing, hand file and deburr. But this is all made on the turn mill. It runs overnight. I put a bar of steel in there. It runs very conservative. I could honestly make this part in about 30 minutes if I was pushing the machine, but to be conservative and let it run overnight, because I don't have a tool breakage checker. It runs all night. Come back in the morning. Got 10 of them made. So pretty nice. Machine can run all night, and I run them in between all of this and all the million other things that I'm doing. But yeah, we're programming this right now for the sile. Last toolpath, contouring. Okay. Coming with an eighth inch end mill. Let's see here. 2D. We're going to do a 2D contour, 1/8 inch end mill. So, you know, honestly, running a home machine shop, Fusion 360, it's not a really good program for toolpaths. It's a really affordable program for toolpaths, but not really ideal. So I got to build an end mill here. So this would be 1/8 inch. Or actually, what I could do is import it from the Doosan. Copy, paste, and change post processor to tool number 7. Okay. So this would be T equals 1/8 inch end mill. Cutting data. It's about right. So we can look up, these are the things, speeds and feeds. Haas tooling. Haas tooling. I like using iScar or Kennametal for getting my speeds and feeds. Let's see what we got here. For the tooling, 1/8 inch end mill. So I am using a Haas end mill on this one. It's carbide end mill is this one right here. What's cool is you go on the website. These end mills are $12. That's why I like using Haas. Small end mills like this, you don't have to bust out $34. This would be $34 if it's an iScar or Kennametal. These last as long as you have reduced speeds and feeds. So you can scroll down, go down to your speeds and feeds chart right here, which is nice. Every tool manufacturer will have this. And then it'll tell you, here's an 1/8 inch end mill. You gotta know your material group. I'm a stainless steel material P5. 17.4 is P5. Scroll over like you're playing Battleship. Find out this is my inches per turn. How much cutting I gotta do per turn? 0.005. So I'm at 0.003. Pretty conservative. You can see this is their recommendation right here, 0.005 for an 1/8 inch end mill. Or actually, they're 0.007. Sorry, 0.005. Yep, right there. And they're recommending on SFM surface speed per minute 160 to 250. So I'm low. I'm 103. So let's bump this up. 180 feet a minute. So it's going to bump spindle speed up to 5,500. So I was at 3,100. See, this is the thing. Every machine's different. Every machine has a different rigidity. So the turn mill, I can't run at 5,500 RPM. It's going to want to chatter like crazy. I had to figure out what it liked. And then for my turn mill, I like 3,100 for this specific tool. And honestly, you're not going to learn that just looking on a chart like this. That's all skill based. That's off experience. So we'll try the recommended speeds and feeds because we have now a good rigid vertical mill. So they're recommending 160 to 250. I'm going to go 180. And we'll set that over for 17.4 stainless. And we'll bump up, we're going to bump up the inches per turn, 0.005. Let's go 004. We're going to start low. Again, if I break an end mill, that's 12 bucks. And yes, it's happened. I had a whole boneyard. You guys should see the end mill pile I had learning my machine when I first got it. Ramp spindle speed, 5,500. All right, boom. I'll get that going. What are we going to contour? We're going to contour this. And let me pass. We're going to do multiple passes here. Roughing passes. You don't want to go over 1.5 times the diameter. So we'll step over 15th thou. Pretty conservative. Probably got to do that like 10 times. And then the depth, same thing, 1.5. We'll have multiple depths. We won't go past, let's do 30 thou. So you can look at the machine time on this. So that right there is about 8 minutes to do that. Total machine time just for making this lug, estimated as of right now, is where's it at? Machine time, 10 minutes, 11 minutes as of right now. So let's see. Simulate. Let's see what it does here. Okay. All right. So it's going to basically run his little doodad 30,000s at a time. That's being very conservative, guys. I'm just going to, since I'm new to this machine, I want to see where it's really, where I can push it. You know, eventually, you know, this is the thing. When I'm in production right now, like I am, you really want to be conservative and push it just very minimal. Get it to the point where you're not breaking tools, but you're keeping the tolerances. So for me, as long as I'm keeping parts under the 30 minutes, like this part shouldn't take more than 30 minutes to make. If it does, then I got to look at different ways of my setup. Either starting off with a reduced diameter. This is a 1-inch S7 tool steel puck that we're going to be using. But start off with a smaller diameter, then I could obviously that's less material to cut away. If I program that machine, it'll look like a movie, The Fly. I know that movie, Jim. You'd be surprised. All right, so that's where we're at. Green's good. That means I was able to simulate with my machine Toolpath. It was able to machine according to the simulation to the accuracy dimensions of my part. So you see green, that's good. Blue is material that needs to be cut away. Red means you cut too much. So I'm looking good right now, looking kosher. All right. Next thing I'm going to want to do is drill. So we're going to do a drilling move here. I do have a 3/32 drill bit in the tool holder right now. Select the hole. Now, this is where you could get in trouble. Remember how this was all blue? The Toolpath wants to start inside the blue. That means it's going to crash my drill bit into the part before it stops and starts to drill. So you gotta look at everything here as you're doing this, and you can tell. Look at what the drill tip is. Drill tip didn't go all the way through, so we're gonna have to fix that. So now I need to tell where I want this thing to stop or start. So not the whole top. I'm gonna select it. I'm gonna say you start right here, but I also want you to start 50 thousandths off my part for safety. So it'll be selection. I need to tell the machine what's safe to move. Retract height, all of that. Top height and then the bottom height. The check mark drill tip all the way through. We want the sucker to be all the way through, so we're going to give it an extra depth of 15 thou. So he's going to come in, drill past my material, 15 thou. And since that's a very small drill bit, I don't want it to wrap it in or wrap it out. That's going to be a pecking cycle. For chip breaking, pecking depth, we're going to be conservative again, 15 thou. Accumulated pecking, this is how much pecking to do before it fully retracts. We're going to say retract that sucker at 100 thou. It's going to get coolant inside of the material, cool down my drill bit, and all of that. So that's going to look like this. I'll simulate it here. So you can see the 2 pecks before it went all the way through. What features make you decide which brand of CNC you buy? Is it only the price or speed? Honestly, so when you're trying to pick out a CNC machine, you got to look at cost over time. You got to look at support. And you got to look at the possibilities of crashing that machine. It's going to happen. You will crash that machine. Doesn't matter how good of an operator you are, how good of a programmer. There'll be a time and a day that you just have bad luck and you crash it. And if you ever have to replace a spindle, if I was to buy a DMG Mori, a spindle cartridge replacement on a VMC, it's going to cost $26,000. On a machine like I just purchased, it's at $7,000. I'd say $5,000 to $7,000. Then you got to look at the availability. How long is it going to take? How long is your machine going to be down if that happens? DMG Mori, you'll get it within a day, but that's the cost of $26,000. That's why you pay for that. That's why high-end aerospace manufacturers run DMG Mori, because if something was to happen, any time you're down, any minutes you're down, that is down production. For them, high manufacturers, they are losing thousands and thousands every hour. That machine is not running. For shops like me, it doesn't matter. I could wait a day. I could wait a couple days. So Sile, they're not really a good. They're a new name brand. They're a rigid machine. They're using THK bearings. You got to look at the rigidity of the machine, what kind of bearings are being put. If those bearings and those solenoids and those parts are available, all the parts on my machine are capable of being purchased on Amazon. Surprisingly, I could purchase a spindle cartridge and get it in my door within a couple days, and replace it myself. THK bearings, very common, very high grade Japanese bearings. Siemens drive motors, those are, you could buy Siemens drive motors right now. If I was to purchase like right now, okay, let's say Siemens drive servo. So the Cinematics S200 is what I have. S200 servo drive. You can call Siemens right now and get them. Let's say this guy has it. So this is the actual PLC logic controller. These should never ever burn out on you. I'm trying to see the actual motor, drive motor. These are the little things you got to look into. Cinematics S2000. You can call Siemens. It'll be the servo drive right here, and they'll ship it to you overnight. It'll probably cost you about $1,000. And you got to look at the capability. So most guys, they will purchase a machine to accomplish a task that they think they're doing right now. You need to get a machine that is capable of excelling and giving you the capability. Like for instance, you don't ever think you're going to get into 4-axis machining. I can almost guarantee you, if you're just a knife maker, you just want to build knives or whatever, or little small parts, you will get into fourth axis machining, or you're going to wish you had a 4-axis capability. So those features again add cost. I went with the Sile X7 because I wanted to try something other than a Haas. I'm very familiar with the Haas VF2s and then the SVMs from Genes1s. I'm actually pretty familiar with those. But the Sile has all the bells and whistles for... Now, I paid a lot more because my thing's fully loaded out, but they start at $42,000. I said, okay, if this machine is capable of doing what I want it to do, possibly make the action bodies, this is a quarter of a cost, a third of, or this is about a fifth of the cost of my machine, my Genes1s machine. A Genes1s is about 20 or 215,000. That's 42. And if I could do what my Genes1s doing to make an action body, I could get 5 of these things. So that's what I'm really doing. I'm testing this machine out to make parts. Hopefully, see how it will perform building my action. And then also make little small parts. I can make sear blocks. I can make ejectors. Yeah, see, it got THK bearings, linear guides. These are the little things. The high-speed servo changer. So the one that I have is the newest model. It actually has a magazine turret, which is actually a lot faster. It's got a Schneeberger. You got to look these people up. These are mineral cast machine frame, rigidity. You know, you could look at a Tormach. Like if you were looking at a Tormach VMC, it's a hobby lathe, like a hobby machine. Like even Sile says this is a hobby machine, but the way this is set up, the 12,000 RPM spindle, that machine is capable of high production. Fourth axis on their capability. No, I just got one of these Pearson work holding. Pearson work holding, and this is all, man, it's crazy how I'm coming back full circle, man. I never thought I'd be in manufacturing again. I hated doing this, trying to figure out how to hold your parts, and what I'm doing right now on the Fusion 360. That's what I used to do a long time ago. So this is what I just got right here, the Roto Vise. Freaking thing's awesome. This is going to go on that fourth axis machine. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got 4 vices. So as far as production, I can make 2 recoil lugs right here. This thing will spin, make another 2. This thing will spin, make another 2. All in one operation. I can make 2, 4, 6. I can make 8 recoil lugs, all said and done instead of 2. So you start looking at things like this, but this ain't cheap either. You can tell. Let's just see what, I paid, I think, $2,200. Yeah, I got a deal on it. So something like this, smart plate, yeah, 4,000. So people always think, man, I must be making a lot of money. I'm not. All of the money that I make, man, is going right back into things like that. I don't make a lot, man. I'll be honest. CZ 457s, I only make $470 off each build. It's just my chamber job. I don't make a lot. So, anyways, going back to this, yeah. So you're trying to choose a machine. You got to look at the capabilities. You got to look at, for one, you can really, like, if you got shitty neighbors and you got neighbors that are always looking at what you're doing, then that could get you in trouble. Because unless you're zone light manufacturing, your zoning of your residential facility, you could be zoned just for residential, and you need a home occupation permit. Anything with a CNC machine is considered manufacturing. That could put you out of your zoning permit and get you in trouble. So if your neighbor wanted to be a dick, they could call the zoning committee and get you fined. So like being an at-home machine shop is really difficult to do. Luckily, we're zoned commercial on this property, and I got light manufacturing. We're considered light manufacturing even though we got machines in here. So, okay. Yep, so I got the drilling done. And then I need to do the engraving. Did you get the spin?
Huh?
You get it to spin?
I'm trying to get the harmonic balance drop with a slide hammer.
Okay. All right. Now I need a chamfer. So what we're gonna do is the chamfer tool is also my engraving tool. So we will do a chamfer tool select. It is a 1/4 inch chamfer. Let's see what that does. Doesn't like that. Okay. You don't like that, do you? All right. This is where I had an issue before. Let's try that. Nope. Don't like that either, huh? I think what I had to do is treat my chamfer like a drill bit. Yep. It'll do that. Okay. Let's see what it does here. Simulate chamfer. All right. I'm going to overlap this. I want this thing to overlap. Finish overlap. We're going to overlap at 50 thou. Okay. Cool. And I want it to engrave. That same tool is going to do a 2D engrave. Do that and that. Feed height, top height, okay. Let me see what this does here. Off topic, what I think about the new Must batteries? Oh, I don't know, dude. I've seen those. I don't know, man. What is it? Sodium ion or something like that? Is it sodium ion? The sodium ion battery is coming out. All right, that's a little bit too deep. Let's see here. Let's change this bad boy to 50 thou. I'm feeling that was too deep. Simulate. Yeah, I think it's getting in there. Change this to 15 thou. What did I do before? Let me see. Let me look at my other program here. Oh yeah, there's sodium, aluminum. Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. You know, Jim, to be honest, a lot of that stuff's been discovered years ago, and those guys that discovered efficient energy all got off by the system. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but look up the history, man. Anybody that came up with some kind of way to have efficiency providing power, either it come out of making diesel fuel out of plastic, or the Oldsmobile out of water. They didn't last, man. They didn't live long. They got offed out by the government. So, sodium ion technology, with sodium being obviously one of the most abundant materials on the face of the earth, why did it take this long to come out with a freaking battery? You know, you got to think about what is it? Well, it's because the damn lithium mines are getting dried up or getting taken over by cartel and crap. So, yeah. E and L. Okay, I don't. Whatever. Nikolai, thank you, brother. I just saw that order coming. I got you going, man. Give me a day or so. We'll get those out to you. All right. Feed height. We'll change this. Feed height is going to be selection is top height plus 0.30. Almost done with this. Top height 0.20. Ooh. Change that. Okay. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see those lines. All right. Simulate. Yeah, I don't want this tool digging into it. I just want to make it L and E. There we go. That looks a lot better. Okay. L and E. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So that's done. This is pretty much done. So adaptive. Let me make this into just a little bit deeper. Give me some clearance here. Ten thousandths underneath the part. There we go. 2D contour. Give me just a little bit more clearance. Bottom height. This will be 5 thousandths. Just to keep my end mill from dragging onto the bottom of the material. There we go. Actually, no. Where's that? There we go. Okay, that looking good. It does look like a Mossberg safety. Well, freaking Mossberg made that thing super simple. All right. Well, anyways, this is the adjustable lug. I'm trying to make it on the sile here. So we got that. I'm going to make this is adjustable lug. E Lapua / Ely. And then one of the things I need to make is a holder. So what I do need to make is something. Hold on a second. Design. I need to import some step files here. Save. Haas 4-inch vise soft jaws. Okay, now that I got that, there we go. These are the soft jaws we're gonna have to cut out as well. So we're gonna take this. We're gonna duplicate. All right. We'll make this 1/2 inch apart. So this needs to come in 12 thousandths, 12.8. So minus 0.0128. There we go. All right. Body. Move. Okay, soft jaws. Perfect. All right. So we're going to set up a little soft jaw here so I can hold that material in place. We'll create a sketch. Capture position. 1 inch. And minus 0.075. New body. Hold on, I gotta unground these. Oh, brake chain. Brake chain. There we go. There we go. Now I got it. Nikolai, you're not going to need the C-clip, brother. Use your factory C-clip, and then we're going to provide a spring. Check out the item description. Click the description and look at how to install. There's a video that I did. It's a, what do you call it? A hidden video. It's not public, but you can see how I installed this little compression spring that goes in between your extractor and your tensioner, and that should get you going. If you have any questions with how all that works, let me know. Why did this not cut? All right. Weird. Super weird. Huh. Just trying to make a little circle. That's why I hate Fusion, man. Let's see if I could combine both bodies here. This is what I'm going to do. Let me delete this. Delete. Just want to mirror a body here. Mirror. Select plane. There we go. New body. That's what I should have done. So this will be back jaw, front jaw. It does have better tension. So here's the thing. You don't want to, it's a fine balance between tension. C-clip is really meant for the factory extractors that have worn out tension. I just need a little bit extra. Our extractors are already wider. The Talon extractor is about 15% wider than the factory. It is already going to give you a stronger C-clip pressure because of it's wider, but it's also it also is gripping closer towards the 43 thou headspace rim, and it also is angled in. So what it does, it bites into the actual rim. So you're not going to need the C-clip pressure. You're going to need an extractor that actually bites and does its job. So that's what our Talon extractors do. When you have too much pressure, then you're going to start fighting your bolt lockdown. Your bolt's going to lock down a little tighter than what you're used to. And most folks aren't used to having a stiffer bolt lockdown. It also will start, like if you have like an aftermarket barrel, like an L3I barrel, your Talon extractor or your extractors with stronger C-clip, you'll start wearing in to the chamber wall. So yeah, you're not really needed. it's a fine balance. Another thing too, if you have too much of a C-clip pressure, your extractor system is one part of the system. It's going to do its job to extract. Well, you now need it to allow the spent case to eject. So if that extractors are gripping onto your spent case too tight, then if you have a poor plastic ejector, now your spent case is not going to want to slip out of the attention or your extractors and fling out. So some guys will have issues with it actual spent case ejection. So it's a fine balance. You can increase it, but you can't increase it too much without affecting the other side of the system, if that makes sense. So I found a way to make sure the extractors do its job by biting into the actual brass. You know, we had for Corkson, which obviously didn't really do their job to test their extractors when they came out with it. And they had nothing but issues. Now, I've been making my own extractors because of my CZ builds. And they've been working. And then a lot of folks started asking me to sell my extractors, so I ended up doing so. I'm selling those extractors to make a profit. I'm selling them because the request of folks that needed them. All right. We're going to try making 2 of these bad boys. That's what I should have done. I don't know why I just did 1. Let's duplicate this. Let's move this over to here. All right. I should have made 2 of these bad boys. Let's see. What do we have? We got a 4-inch. That's 4-inch. So we do 2 inches. We'll make 2 circles at 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. At 1 inch. All right. Trying to see if I can maximize these soft jaws. They're not really, they're pricey, like $40. So if I could get 3 of these bad boys in there, that'd be ideal. One inch. How many of these can I get in there? Let's see. Yeah, 3 is looks like 3 is the most I'm going to be able to do. Let me space these out correctly. Okay. Doesn't need to be super precise. Just trying to eyeball these things. So that's 3 lugs at a time. All right. Boom. Holding little disc and pucks. There we go. All right. Now that's going to be easy to make. Yep, happy Thanksgiving, brother. It's a brand new rifle. I like to upgrade them while they're new. Yeah. Yeah, if you got to... Okay, so this is what I'm going to explain and give you a little from experience. CZ, USA, quality, horrible right now. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Either I think CZ, and I'm just going to assume CZ USA is taking over some of the manufacturing of the 457 parts, or CZ from Spain or whatever has really made some cutbacks because their quality or their personnel, whoever's building these rifles, they're building them like shit, man, like horrible. These things are completely coming in. Anything from 2024 to now is just coming in all over the place. Plastic recoil lugs. Their bolt handles are mimmed. Their action bodies. Now, people are like anything I say on the internet, everybody always tries to correct me. I did on my video. I talked about those action bodies being cast. What I meant by that is MIM'd parts. Not MIM is like cast material basically. So the action body is not even registering some kind of material series. My XRF analyzer is not even telling me. It's telling me what it is, what the composition of the metal is, but it doesn't register a classification. So they're using some kind of proprietary metal, but the metal isn't anything that's good. Nothing in the action body is really good. So they are really prone to cracking. And ask me how I know. I've cracked in action trying to thermal fit. That's why I don't do it no more. Plus, I've had people that have taken an action and try to clean their chambers with a pick and screwdriver. All right. So what I'm doing now, setting up the soft jaws. I need to set my box coordinate, x-axis. Model origin. Select the point. There we go. That's where I want you to go. Room solid. Okay. Okay. All right. So, anyways, yeah, the CZ's just really kind of diminished quality. Just been really sorting through them. People are wondering why my CZ builds are taking longer. Well, it's because of that. Meaning a lot of CZ actions coming in that are just complete garbage, man. Adaptive clearing. And having to send a lot back. So when I get 30 actions in and I'm only able to build 4, that's going to slow production down. All right. Let's make that not so aggressive here. 0.035. And I don't know why you're air cutting. Okay, so I got to look at the tool paths here, what I'm doing. I want to make sure my end mill doesn't just plunge down on my part. I'm going to snap an end mill real quick doing that. So, coming in between here. There we go. And it's going to make these little circle pockets. Yeah, so yeah, look at, Nikolai, if you look at your action, it's the 2 digits next to your serial number. It's offset to the top left. It'll tell you your production model, 2024, 20, it'll say 22, 23, 24, 25. Anything that's like late model 23 and newer, it's all USA, CZ USA production. And it's just hasn't been the same. I mean, you probably noticed when you got it, it ain't running smooth like it used to, or like some of the CZs are. It takes a lot of work, man. So another good indication is take your barreled action out of your stock. Look at that recoil lug. If it's plastic, then it's a CZ USA build. Oh, they've been making those things out of plastic. Things been horrible. All right, that looks good. All right, last thing to do is this chamfer, small chamfer. Yeah, it's brand new. you guys look at the year. But yeah, the recoil lug is going to be something I'm going to recommend upgrading. I'm actually probably going to build. Now that I got this new machine, I'll probably be a aftermarket part that I'm going to allow. I might build, sell, along with a million other projects that I got. But something just to help the community out, because again, CZ's failing. You know, why they think a plastic ejection molded part, even though you can get tight tolerances, but a plastic recoil lug, why do you think that's going to be helpful for accuracy? I've did a lot of tests with that recently and found out, nope, that a plastic recoil lug, just like I thought, is going to reduce your accuracy, and it reduces it a lot. All right. TIF offset is 30, and I want a chamfer width of 0.005. Smoothing on. Okay. Chamfer. All right. Machine ain't running. Let me see what happened. They get stopped on the drilling cycle. Yep. Let's see where we're at right now. Okay. I got chips everywhere, which is good. Action body's looking really good. Look at that shiny. Come on, focus. There we go. All right. So what is this bad boy telling me? Yep, my MO command right there. Drill stop. I gotta change the tool out. I'm waiting on I got a drill bit holder. An ER32 shrink fit collar is supposed to be coming in pretty soon, but they got back ordered, so I'm having to change tools out. I'll do that real quick. Corner tool. These are pretty sweet. I don't know if you guys ever seen this. These are Eppinger PreziFlex holders. Quick change. Held on by 4 little screws right there. They hold tolerance really, really well. Accuracy. Swapping in and out real quick like this is within a couple tenths. Throw it in the other live tool, torque the 4 bolts down. Right. I'll change this tool out to a drill bit. Still can't get it loose. .5mm drill bit. This is what's going to drill out the drill stop here. Oh. Drill bits in. Touch off the tool here real quick. Come on. Right. This drill bit's sticking out quite a bit. It's for a reason. Turn the coolant off and I'll show you. So, this bad boy. It's gonna reach all the way up in there. Get some coolant flowing. Yeah, check for the plastic recoil lug there. You gotta remove the barrel action out of it, but if it's got a 25 or 24 two-digit number next to your serial number, I'm pretty sure you got a plastic recoil lug. Yeah. All right. So it gets close. You can see where that collar is at. That's why I have that thing sticking out quite a bit. What are you trying to do now? Oh yeah, swap over the next toolpath. Okay. So it just drilled this little hole right here. Little itty bitty hole. Put our end mill back in there and swap it back. Little minor halt, but kind of lets you check everything that's going on. And then this 1/8 inch end mill, surprisingly, is a very crucial end mill for tolerance. Torque value, they use in action screws. It depends. Factory stocks, they got that plastic pillar. Don't go above 30 inch-pounds. If you, at any time you go above 30 inch-pounds, or from the factory, you look at your bottom metal plate on your stock. If it's sitting below the stock, it's sitting too much. It's too sunken in. So you're gonna have to get some washers, get your bottom metal pushed out further, and get them flush to the bottom of the chassis. Okay, so this one's ready to rock again. We are continuing. Okay, continue. Cut. There we go. There we go. Make chips. Good boy. All right. So yeah, I think we'll cut it out tonight right now. I'll probably stay up for another hour or so, but yeah, this is what I do. Wake up tomorrow, get back in the shop, 8 o'clock, and get back at it again. So we'll do these little chats here and there. You guys like these little improv chats where I just in here working with me, seeing what I do? Definitely give me a thumbs up. Comment below. Say you want more of these chats. We'll definitely do that as long as YouTube doesn't. I'm on 1 strike right now. I did have 2. At some point, YouTube's gonna keep attacking me. I've had in the last week 5 of the videos deleted, and they weren't even videos that were showing anything. I got a hell of a lot more videos that are showing anything stuff, but they're deleting videos like intro videos, like the introductory to a video series, talking about we're gonna build a CZ457. That's pretty much all I said in the video. Didn't show anything, and they're saying that's against community guidelines. So we'll stay on here as long as we can, but I ain't gonna live in my knees with their communist rules. They're not doing anything illegal here, so freedom of speech, it's America. I'm gonna have my freedom. So we're gonna do these live chats as much as I can. If we get to a point to where we're just getting strikes, then I don't know, we'll figure out another way. But throw a comment below. Let me know you guys like these things. We'll have more of a formal discussion. Maybe I'll have some topics talking about things, questions that you guys keep bringing up. If you guys have a topic you want to talk about, we could do that. Video content has been really diminished for me. Obviously, I'm really busy. So when I can do these little live chats, I can at least kind of interact with you guys. Still get keep my channel growing. But you know, at least give you guys some good content as far as advice, stuff like that. What do you want to see? Small little videos of little things you guys want. I can do that too. But yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next live chat. I appreciate staying up late with me. And yeah, we'll keep trucking away. We'll keep these Genes1s Actions rolling. I'll give you guys updates here and there. Check out our Instagram. That's another good little social media that we could post a little updates about our progress here. New machines rolling in pretty soon, so we'll get those. We'll have another video pretty soon about that. That's gonna be pretty cool. You guys are gonna see that machine, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. That is the bells and whistles, and it is gonna really ramp things up here. So I'm excited. I'm scared. It was a big investment, but I'm excited. So we'll catch you guys next live chat. Thanks for joining, and see you guys soon. What are you doing? Let me help him out here. All right, guys, we'll end it here.